Country, it's so beautiful. So different from...
Yes, it is.
Wish it were just a vacation trip.
Well, it is for you. New country to see and enjoy.
But not for you.
Oh, it's not that bad. Just one more job.
One more job, one more man to send to prison.
No, back to prison. Billy Miller escaped,
Okay,
remember?
come on. Come on, honey, the stage is ready to go.
Not doing any good looking at that watch. It's not gonna make the stage come in on time.
Joe, Candy?
Hey, Rick, how's it going?
Hi, Rick. Mr. Cartwright,
No, listen, did you get that horse shot?
No, not yet. That mare throws his front foot out a little bit. I was gonna build a special shoe and weight it some on the inside, see if I couldn't correct it.
Yeah, it might be a good idea.
I hear tell there's a marshal on his way into town.
Yes, there is, as a matter of fact. Old friend of mine, Luke Mansfield. Oh, he's just coming here for a vacation, Rick. I don't think it has anything to do with you. Luke?
How are you?
Well, finally, after 15 years. Luke, my son Joseph.
Joe, of course. How are you?
And this is Candy, one of my hands.
Candy, how are you?
Clumsy me, thank you.
That'll be all, boy. She can stand up without your help.
Father, if he hadn't caught me, I'd be flat in the dust. He was trying to help.
I know what he was trying to do.
Marshal, I
Come on.
was hoping that...
Ben, I brought along a surprise for you. I want you to meet my little girl, Laurie.
Father, how many times do I have to tell you I'm not a little girl?
Indeed, she's not a little girl. She's a beautiful young lady. Laurie, how nice to see you.
Hello.
My son Joseph.
Pleasure, man.
How do you do?
And this is Candy.
And?
Now, you boys get the luggage down, and the surrey's right over here. Follow me.
Thank you very much.
Come on, dear.
Well, tell you, Luke, I was hoping you could make this a real vacation. You know, take it easy, enjoy yourself.
Well, as a matter of fact, I handed in my resignation a month ago. Now that Laurie has finished school, I thought I'd settle down and make a home for her.
Well,
And this one piece of unfinished business got in the way.
Unfinished business?
A man I put in prison a long time ago broke out 10, 12 months ago. We all thought that he went to Mexico. Only last week we heard that he headed this way.
well, since you're no longer marshal, why are you tracking him down?
It's a special case, Ben. I'm still carrying one of his bullets in my leg.
Father. It's so beautiful here. Can't we just forget about that old Billy Miller? For today, at least.
Oh, all right.
I'm all unpacked. You should see the view from upstairs. There's the cutest little burrow in the corral.
Yeah, he's a cute little one. Total stranger wandered in one day. We were waiting for his owner to come along and pick him up.
Hey, you know something? There's nothing he'd like better than to be fed a big, juicy apple by a pretty little gal. Come on.
Really, I can feed it?
Sure.
She's a sweet child. Busy as a whirlwind and iron-headed sometimes, but she's a sweet child.
Sweet she is, but a child she isn't.
Oh, yes, she is, in more ways than one. All those years at school, she's got a lot of growing up to do.
Well, all children do, Luke. But, tell me about this, Billy Miller.
Very dangerous man, guilty of murder twice over. But all we could prove in court was mail robbery. Ben, in my bag upstairs, I've got $1,000. I'm offering it as a reward for him, dead or alive.
Luke, you're a pretty good marshal, so you're going to find out about this sooner or later anyway. Might as well tell you. There's a young fella in town. Been here about, 10 or 12 months, working at the blacksmith shop. And he never made a secret of the fact that he served time in prison. But we all like him a great deal.
Well, that's your privilege. But it's probably a mistake.
Well, be that as it may, the reason I'm telling you this is it can't be the same fella you're looking for, because this one is a young'un. But his name is Miller, too. Not Billy Miller, Rick Miller.
Could be a relative. When a man's on the run, he always goes somewhere to find somebody for help. Family, maybe.
Well, I didn't want to intimate that there was any relationship between
Ben,
them.
I think I'd better ride into town and have a talk with this young fella. You said he was at the blacksmith shop, huh?
Well, yeah, he's at the blacksmith shop.
Ben, I need a horse.
Would you just... Yeah, sure, of course.
Yes. And then I gotta change, I think.
Look, like I was saying, there's a dance Saturday night. I thought it'd be kind of a good idea if you and I
Hey,
went.
wait a minute, you two. I was the one that brought it up first. And the way I figured, I got first dig.
Joe?
What do you mean you get first digs? It was Candy and I that met her at the stage. I think if anybody gets first digs...
Joe. Joe, your pa is calling.
Oh. Yeah, well, you think about what I said, huh?
See you later.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You know, Hoss, he's about half right. It was me and Joe that picked her up at the stage.
Oh, well, gentlemen, I'm sure there'll be enough dances for everyone. Now, I probably shouldn't admit this, but I've never been to a real dance.
Oh, yeah?
I've learned how. I learned how in school, but it was always just with the girls.
Well, I'll tell you, Lori, this one Saturday night will be somewhat different.
I guess I must have made a mistake. I mentioned Rick Miller, and he immediately assumed that he was related to this fella that he's tracking. And, boy, he's sure rough on anybody who's ever served time in prison.
Maybe he's been a lawman too long.
Maybe, but anyway, I'd like you to ride in with Luke, just so Rick knows he still has some friends.
Settle to us.
Biggest problem I have is not breaking a little gal's feet when I step on them.
You bet.
Hey, where you going, Joe?
I gotta go to town.
Oh, that's too bad. Take your time. Don't hurry back.
So, Lori, what'd you do before you came out here?
Oh, nothing really, just school.
More composition.
Hi, Rick.
Hello, Rick. Hey, Rick, you could have saved yourself a trip out here, old buddy. I was going to come get that horse tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, Candy, but I wanted to come out anyhow.
Yeah, I'll bet you did.
Hi. I didn't have a chance to thank you properly this morning. Are you Rick?
Yes?
Hi, I'm Laurie Mansfield.
Rick Miller. The reason I came out, Miss Laurie, is I'd like to speak to your father.
Of course, he's in the house. Come with me. Father, he was just coming in to see you. This is Rick Miller. He wants to talk to you.
Well, that saves me a ride into town.
Father, be pleasant, please.
Go in the house, Laurie.
Can't you be pleasant for a minute? He only wants to talk to you.
Do as I say. Go in the house.
Hope we'll meet again, Rick.
Rick Miller. Where'd you do time, boy? Down in Yuma? With your Uncle Billy, or is he your cousin? Did you two work it out together before they let you go, boy?
No, sir.
Did you tell him you had a place ready and waiting for him when he broke out?
No, sir. It wasn't like that at all.
I want the truth, boy. You remember what it's like down there in Yuma prison. I can put you right back there. Just like that.
Father!
Marshal, I came out here to tell you about Billy.
He came all the way out here, and you treat him like an animal. What kind of a man are you?
You ask me that, ask him. Look at him, sick with fear. It's written all over him. The mark of a jailbird. I wouldn't lay a hand on him. Anyway, I told you to go in the house.
I know what you told me. Staying right here.
Pull yourself together, boy. Nobody's going to touch you. You said you came out here to tell me something. All right, let's hear it.
Marshal, I was up in Fernley when Billy broke out. I didn't know nothing about it till he got here. He was all shot up. Been riding for a long time, didn't have no care or medicine. I hid him in a shack up by where I was working. I reckon I shouldn't have done it, Mr. Cartwright, but he was my blood kin, my cousin. There weren't even time to get a doctor. He just kept getting sicker and sicker. He died in a couple hours. I buried him up there, Marshal.
Well, now, isn't that convenient? You came all the way out here just to tell me.
Father, stop it. Please.
Billy had a good reason to want my hide. It's a trap, isn't it, boy? You want to sucker me out there with some tall tale just so Billy could have target practice?
No, sir.
One sure way to find out, Luke.
Whereabouts in Fernley?
About 3 miles northeast of the old Silver Dollar Mine.
Yeah, it's a long ride. You'll need company. Candy, Joe, you go along with Luke. And you'll need supplies and bedrolls.
Right. We'll get the supplies in town. This is official business. The government will pay for all we need. If it is a trap, we don't want him at our backs.
Well, I'll see that he stays here.
When you find that grave, Father, remember to be ashamed.
Laurie, you don't understand, dear. When I get back, we'll have a nice long talk.
A nice long lecture, you mean?
Really?
Well, this time I'm not going to listen. Not unless you apologize first.
Should be all right, Luke. I think so, Ben. Anybody else's hands, I'd wonder.
Well, chores aren't going to get done by themselves, that's for sure. Hey, I'll tell you what, Lori. Maybe later on you and I can take a little ride around the ranch. Would you like that? See you later.
What did you do to Rick last night? Tie him up and lock him in the barn?
No. What gave you that idea? In the tack room. You said he'd stay until your father came back. There's no reason to tie him up. What are you talking about? Even offered to do some work.
You believed him. Now, why couldn't Father?
Well, we know him. Your father doesn't. We've known him for close to a year. Like him. Can't say I agree with everything he does, like taking in an escaped convict. I don't think that was right, although I can understand it.
He was cruel. You're not.
No, Laurie. Isn't that cruel? Being a lawman in wilderness territory is pretty rough going. You can't just take every stranger at face value. It might cost you your life. Your father helped make this country a fit place to live, and he did it mostly on his own. No one else to depend upon but himself.
That still is no reason for him to treat Rick like an outlaw and a liar. He has no right to play God. That's what he does, always. With me. I think I was still 5 years old or something.
Laurie, pass me that plate, would you please? You know, you can't blame a father for wanting his little girl to remain a little girl. Anyway, he hasn't had much chance to see you grow up. You know that, don't you?
That was his own fault. Ever since I was little, he's kept me in boarding schools. He's never cared about me, Uncle Ben. If I as much as got a note from him on my birthday, it was heaven.
Laurie, you've got to believe this. Your father loves you very much. When your mother died, he couldn't keep you with him. It was impossible the way he was moving around all the time because of his work. You should have heard him yesterday. How happy he was talking about the home he was going to make for you and him.
Is that for Rick?
Yes, he said he wasn't hungry before. I thought I'd take it out.
May I bring it to him? You said you trusted him.
Of course.
I wish you were like you. Father and me. I can talk to you. There's never been anyone to talk to.
Well, I suppose no matter where you are, if you're lonely or miserable, whether you're in prison or...
A fancy Eastern school. Talk about it so easily. I think you'd want to forget about it. Lie about it, even.
One time, you mean? It wouldn't get me no place. Somebody somewhere would turn up who knew me, and I'd have to start all over again. I reckon it's best to face up to it right from the start.
But it's so unfair. It's not what you've been that should count. It's what you are.
Well, if I hadn't been caught robbing that cash box, I suppose I would have probably figured it was unfair that all I had to show for my trouble was $17.
$17?
76 cents.
They put you in prison for stealing $17?
They put me in prison for stealing, Miss Laurie. Didn't matter how much.
The way my father treated you yesterday.
That's all right, Miss Laurie. It doesn't matter.
Rick? Will you take me to the dance Saturday night?
What?
I know it isn't proper for the girl to ask, but I really would be proud if you'd be my escort to the dance on Saturday night.
Oh, no, Miss Laurie. I'd be the proud one.
Can't you stop calling me Miss all the time?
I'm honored, Laurie.
Hello there. Don't have an apple. We can be friends, can't we, huh? bad habit of mine, falling on my face.
Except I didn't get here quite quick enough this time.
Hey, Lori, how about that ride after lunch?
I'd love it.
Guess I'd better get back to work. See you then.
Not after lunch, Hoss, now.
Paul, I've been out digging post tools all morning, and as empty as a rain barrel in the dark.
Well, Hop Sing has got the picnic basket prepared. You two could leave right now. How about it?
I have to change first.
Well, go ahead, scoot. She and Rick have been together since breakfast. And it's perfectly all right, but you know, Luke, he wouldn't care for it, so make it a long ride. Huh?
Well, I was sort of figuring on a nap.
Hoss, what's the matter with you? You got a whole afternoon ahead of you, the beautiful young girl?
Yeah, that's just a problem. Don't you think she's a little too young?
Oh, don't let her hear you say that.
No. I'll go get the buggy. Lori, there's still some chicken and cake and stuff over here.
I couldn't.
Oh. Sorry, Mr. Ant, but you're a little late for the picnic.
It's funny. Seems no matter where you stop to eat, they always show up.
Oh, sure they do. They got a system, you know. Yeah. A little guy sits on a little mound, and when he sees a horseman ride by with a picnic basket or a buggy go by with a picnic basket, he sends a signal to another little guy on another little mound, who in turn sends it to another little guy on another little mound, and so on.
You're fooling.
Why, no. How else would they know where to go?
You must think I'm still coloring picture books.
No. No, I don't, Lori. You're almost a grown lady. As a matter of fact, it won't be long till you'll be a grandmother with a shawl around your shoulders and rocking in front of a fireplace.
What do you think of Rick?
Well, I told you, I like him. We all do.
Even though he's a jailbird.
Well, that sets him apart a little. But the way I figured, he made a mistake and paid for it. He's never lied about his background. He came into town, got a job at the blacksmith shop doing odd chores, and now he's probably one of the best blacksmiths I know.
When do people stop remembering?
I don't know, Laura. That's hard to say. Well, look, if we're going to see Beavertail Falls, we better be on our way, huh?
Uncle Ben sent us on this picnic so I couldn't talk to Rick. That's true, isn't it?
Sort of.
Yes, I think we'd better be getting back now.
Huh. Wondering when you were going to get back.
Hoss is out grooming the horse. He said he'd be in a minute.
Oh, good. You enjoy it?
Yes, it's lovely.
Well, we're going to have supper in a little while, if you want to freshen up.
I'm going to take something out to Rick first.
I already have.
Uncle Ben, there's something I want to ask you.
Yeah.
It's about Saturday night, the dance. I want to go, but I know my father wouldn't approve.
Laurie, you're making your father out to be an ogre. We're all going to go. No reason why he'd disapprove.
I want to go with Rick.
Did he ask you?
We want to go together. I know if you talked to my father, he'd say yes.
Well, I don't know if your father's going to be back in time before the dance.
Well, if he is back in time, will you talk to him? If not, you could give me permission.
I'll tell you, Laurie, it's not what I think or want. Your father left you in my charge, and, well, knowing what he thinks about people who've been in prison.
You like Rick?
Yes, of course I like Rick, but this is different.
No, it isn't. It isn't. What's the matter with all you old people anyway? You say one thing and you do another. I thought you were different, but you aren't. You're just the same.
Well, Laurie, you don't seem to understand.
I do, too. I'm not too young. You're all too old, that's all. All you think about is the past. You've forgotten what it's like to have a future. What it's like to be alive, even. Oh, I hope I never get to be like you.
What's that book you're reading?
History of brands. I found it terribly interesting last night, but for some reason or other, I just can't keep my mind on it tonight.
Yeah. Same with me. Adding up that column of figures. 4 tries, 4 different answers. She sure was upset.
Yeah. I didn't hear much of it, but just from the little I did hear, she was that.
Trouble is, she may be right. I tell you, getting old means getting overcautious, overcareful. It's no wonder the young folks won't talk to you. Can't trust your judgment.
Paul.
Of course, the root of the trouble here is that she doesn't think her father cares about her.
Of course he does.
Well, of course he does. Deeply, too. Dang fool won't tell her.
You gonna talk to him?
Yes, I'm going to talk to him. Her, too. First thing in the morning. Well, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. I think I'll join you.
Laurie. What are you doing up this hour? It ain't even light yet.
I couldn't leave without seeing you. I had to wait till you were up.
Leave? Why?
I don't know. They're all too old. They don't understand anything. But you do. We can talk. You and I.
Sure, Laurie, but...
Please come with me. Neither of us will have to be alone anymore if you come with me.
Laurie, you're not alone. You got your father.
My father? My father, what does he care about me? He doesn't care at all. He won't let me do what I want. He won't even let me think what I want. It's like living in prison.
Oh, Laurie, you got no idea what prison's like.
I knew you were going to say that. But that's what it's like, honestly. Please come with me.
I can't come with you. I got a job in Virginia City.
You had a job. Do you really think my father's going to let you keep it? Don't you remember how he treated you yesterday?
Laurie, I've been thinking about something your father said yesterday. About fear. And I reckon the trick is you got to learn to stand up to that fear. Maybe next time.
Next time?
Well, maybe there won't be a next time, Laurie. You know, all folks ain't like your father.
Oh, but they are. All of them. They're all the same, even Uncle Ben. They're hypocrites. They'll never let you forget about your past because they can't forget about it. Rick, there can be a whole new world for us, for you and me. Come with me. Please.
I can't, Laurie. I just can't.
I better go. My father will miss me.
Laurie? You got your bag. I can't let you go alone. Come on, I'll saddle the horse.
You think he can carry both of us?
He'll have to. He's all I got, and I ain't no horse thief.
Hey, Paul? Laurie, breakfast ready?
Coming. Hey, Laurie, come on, wake up. Time for breakfast. Laurie, come on. Laurie. Hollis! Hollis, come on up here quickly!
Paul?
In here. Laurie's missing. Look at this. It's a mess here. Laurie, darling, another lonely night camp on the trail. Somewhere ahead of me, a man who held up a stage is wondering what will happen when I catch up with him. I wonder, too. Daily journal to be given to my daughter Laurie in case of my death. She thinks her father doesn't care. We gotta find Laurie. She's
I'll
got
check the
secrets.
back room.
All right. Just as I figured.
Rick's horse is the only other one that's gone.
Oh, maybe they're riding double. That'll slow them up anyway.
Yeah, I'll saddle the horses, huh?
No, just saddle mine. I want you here in case I miss Luke and the boys on the road. I'll get my things.
Right.
Well, I guess I was a little wrong about that boy, Ben.
Well, you found the grave, Pa, just like Rick said.
And this, Billy's gun, his name scratched on the butt plate. When we get back to the Ponderosa, I'm going to have a little talk with that boy, Ben.
Well, I'm afraid you're not going to be able to. He's not there.
What do you mean he's not there?
He's gone, Luke.
I can't say as I blame him. I was a little tough on him. I might as well get back to the ranch.
Well, Laurie is gone, too. Sometime during the night, they both left. Unless you've got the reward money with you, it's missing, too.
You let that prison dirt take my daughter. Ben, if any harm comes to my child, how long have they been gone?
At least a couple of hours.
We hit this road about a mile back. If they're headed for Virginia City, they've already passed the junction.
You fellas take the Carson City road.
Right.
Come on.
Why are you stopping?
We're off to Ponderosa now. We got some talking to do.
Fred, if my father gets... They could be after us right now.
That can't be helped, Laurie. I mean, us running off into nowhere like this is just plain crazy. Now, my horse can't carry us both forever. We gotta make some plans. Maybe we can catch a stage or something.
Fine. Where to?
Well, Laurie, I ain't got no money on me. What I got's in the bank, and that don't amount to much.
I told you I've got money. $1,000.
Oh, Laura, you didn't take that from the Cartwrights, did you?
Of course not. It's the reward money. For Billy Miller, alive or dead. You're the one who knew, so... There. Take it. It's yours.
Far as I know, there was no reward offered. Even if there was, your father or a court would have to hand it out. You've taken this money just the same as stealing it. Don't you see that?
No, I don't.
You're the one said they'd never forget my past. I reckon this just about guarantees it.
Well, who cares? We're going to change our names anyway.
I'm taking it back, Laurie. I'm taking you back, too. Running away trying to forget everything that ever happened just don't work. Oh, Laurie. Sweet little Laurie, why don't you grow up? You know, a man can't be just what he wants to be. He's what he's been, what he is, what he hopes to be. Everybody is. So are you.
Come here, Laurie.
You wouldn't shoot him, Father.
Do as I say while you can't move.
The boy's not armed, Luke. Luke. Come back, back.
Luke, did you hear me?
What do you want me to do, Marshal? Just let her run off by herself? That's what she was gonna do, you know.
That's what I'm still fixing to do. Here, the reward money. That's what you really came after, isn't it?
No, Laurie. I came after you.
Oh, Father, stop it. And don't try to send Rick back to prison. I took it. He showed you where Billy Miller was. It belongs to him. Even so, he was going to return it.
I don't understand, Laurie. Why do you want to leave?
No, you don't understand. You wouldn't have to ask why. What difference does it make? You don't care about me. You never have.
Laurie.
You've never had any time in your life for me, ever. You're always sending me away, keeping me away.
It was all for you, Laurie. Everything I did was for you.
How could it have been for me? My own father ends up a stranger. He never even wrote me, except maybe once a year. I bet you never even thought about me.
Tell her, Luke. Luke, tell her. I found this in your father's bedroom after you left. It's a daily journal which he wrote for you. To be given to my daughter, Laurie, in case of my death. He wrote to you every day. Sometimes a word, sometimes a whole page. He thought of you all the time.
Why in a journal? Why didn't you put it in a letter?
Life hasn't always been pretty for me, Laurie. Sometimes, no, most times, the things I put down weren't seemly for a little girl to read.
I'm not a little girl anymore.
Yes, I know that now. I should have written all along. I should have, but I guess it's a little late to start that now.
May I read it now?
Sure, if you want to. It's yours to keep. How should we get back to the Ponderosa?
If we can find those horses you spooked, Luke.
Laurie tells me that back east they figure California's the place with the future. When I heard that, I thought we ought to look around out there before settling someplace else. That makes sense, doesn't it, Ben?
If Laurie says so.
Evening, Mr. Cartwright.
Oh, hello, Rick.
Marshal.
Ben here's been telling me that you have hopes of taking over the smithy one of these days.
Well, I hope to, sir. One of these days. Maybe when I get a little something put aside.
I deposited $1,000 to your account this afternoon. Maybe it'll help. Like Laurie says, it does belong to you.
Thank you, sir. What I came to ask about... Well, I'd like your permission to dance with Laurie, sir.
Well, I'd say that'd be up to her. If she wants to, I have no objection.
Thank you.
Well, that didn't hurt too much, did it?
No, but it takes some getting used to. How about some more punch?
How about something a little stronger?
I'm with you.
Country, it's so beautiful. So different from...
Yes, it is.
Wish it were just a vacation trip.
Well, it is for you. New country to see and
But
enjoy.
not for you.
Oh, it's not that bad. Just one more job
One more job, one more man to send to prison.
No, back to prison. Billy Miller escaped,
Okay,
remember?
come on. Come on, honey, the stage is ready to go.
Do any good looking at that watch. It's not gonna make the stage come in on time.
Joe, Candy?
Hey, Rick, how's it going?
Hi, Rick.
Mr. Cartwright,
No, listen, did you get that horse shot?
No, not yet. That mare throws its front foot out a little bit. I was gonna build a special shoe and weight it some on the inside, see if I couldn't correct it.
Yeah, it might be a good idea.
I hear tell there's a marshal on his way into town.
Yes, there is, as a matter of fact. Old friend of mine, Luke Mansfield. Oh, he's just coming here for a vacation, Rick. I don't think it has anything to do with you. Luke?
How are you?
Well, finally, after 15 years. Luke, my son Joseph.
Joe, of course. How are you?
And this is Candy, one of my hands.
Candy, how are you?
Clumsy me, thank you.
That'll be all, boy. She can stand up without your help.
Father, if he hadn't caught me, I'd be flat in the dust. He was trying to help.
I know what he was trying to do.
Marshal, I was
on.
hoping that...
Ben, I brought along a surprise for you. I want you to meet my little girl, Laurie.
Father, how many times do I have to tell you I'm not a little girl?
Indeed, she's not a little girl. She's a beautiful young lady. Laurie, how nice to see you.
Hello.
My son Joseph.
Pleasure, man.
How do you do?
And this is Candy. Now, you boys get the luggage down, and the Surrey's right over here. Follow me.
Thank you very much.
Come on, dear.
Well, tell you the truth, I was hoping you could make this a real vacation. You know, take it easy, enjoy yourself.
Well, as a matter of fact, I handed in my resignation a month ago. Now that Laura's finished school, I thought I'd settle down and make a home for her. Well, then this one piece of unfinished business got in the way.
Unfinished business?
A man I put in prison a long time ago broke out 10, 12 months ago. We all thought that he went to Mexico. Only last week we heard that he headed this way.
Well, since you're no longer Marshal, why are you tracking him down?
It's a special case, Ben. I'm still carrying one of his bullets in my leg.
Father, it's so beautiful here. Can't we just forget about that old Billy Miller? For today, at least.
Oh, all right.
I'm all unpacked. You should see the view from upstairs. There's the cutest little burro in the corral.
Yeah, he's a cute little one. Total stranger wandered in one day. We were waiting for his owner to come along and pick him up.
Hey, you know something? There's nothing he'd like better than to be fed a big, juicy apple by a pretty little gal. Come on.
Really, I can feed it?
Sure.
She's a sweet child. Busy as a whirlwind and iron-headed sometimes, but she's a sweet child.
Sweet she is, but a child she isn't.
Oh, yes, she is, in more ways than one. All those years at school, she's got a lot of growing up to do.
Well, all children do, Luke. But, tell me about this, Billy Miller.
Very dangerous man, guilty of murder twice over. But all we could prove in court was mail robbery. Ben, in my bag upstairs, I've got $1,000. I'm offering it as a reward for him, dead or alive.
Luke, you're a pretty good marshal, so you're going to find out about this sooner or later anyway. Might as well tell you. There's a young fella in town. Been here about, 10 or 12 months, working at the blacksmith shop. And he never made a secret of the fact that he served time in prison. But we all like him a great deal.
Well, that's your privilege. But it's probably a mistake.
Well, be that as it may, the reason I'm telling you this is it can't be the same fellow you're looking for, because this one is a young'un. But his name is Miller, too. Not Billy Miller, Rick Miller.
Could be a relative. When a man's on the run, he always goes somewhere to find somebody for help. Family, maybe.
Well, I didn't want to intimate that there was any relationship between
Ben,
them.
I think I'd better ride into town and have a talk with this young fellow. You said he was at the blacksmith shop, huh?
Well, yeah, he's at the blacksmith shop.
Ben, I need a horse.
Would you just... Yeah, sure, of course.
Yes. And then I gotta change, I think.
Look, like I was saying, there's a dance Saturday night. I thought it'd be kind of a good idea if you and I
Hey,
went.
wait a minute, you two. I was the one that brought it up first. And the way I figured, I got first dig.
Joe?
What do you mean you get first digs? It was Candy and I that met her at the stage. I think if anybody gets first digs...
Joe? Joe, your pa is calling.
Oh. Yeah, well, you think about what I said, huh?
See you later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, Hoss, he's about half right. It was me and Joe that picked her up at the stage.
Oh, well, gentlemen, I'm sure there'll be enough dances for everyone. Now, I probably shouldn't admit this, but I've never been to a real dance.
Oh, yeah?
I've learned how. I learned how in school, but it was always just with the girls.
Well, I'll tell you, Lori, this one Saturday night will be somewhat different.
I guess I must have made a mistake. I mentioned Rick Miller, and he immediately assumed that he was related to this fella that he's tracking. And, boy, he's sure rough on anybody who's ever served time in prison.
Well, maybe he's been a lawman too long.
Maybe, but anyway, I'd like you to ride in with Luke, just so Rick knows he still has some friends.
Settle to us.
The biggest problem I have is not breaking a little gal's feet when I step on them.
You bet.
Hey, where you going, Joe?
I gotta go to town.
Oh, that's too bad. Take your time. Don't hurry back.
So, Lori, what'd you do before you came out here?
Oh, nothing really, just school.
More competition.
Andy? Hi, Rick.
Hello, Rick. Hey, Rick, you could have saved yourself a trip out here, old buddy. I was going to come get that horse tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, Candy, but I wanted to come out anyhow.
Yeah, I'll bet you did.
Hi.
I didn't have a chance to thank you properly this morning. Are you Rick?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Laurie Mansfield.
Rick Miller. The reason I came out, Miss Laurie, is I'd like to speak to your father.
Of course, he's in the house. Come with me. Father, we were just coming in to see you. This is Rick Miller. He was prison for stealing $17.
They put me in prison for stealing, Miss Laurie. Didn't matter how much.
The way my father treated you yesterday.
That's all right, Miss Laurie. It doesn't matter.
Rick? Will you take me to the dance Saturday night?
What?
I know it isn't proper for the girl to ask, but I really would be proud if you'd be my escort to the dance on Saturday night.
Oh, no, Miss Laurie. I'd be the proud one.
Can't you stop calling me Miss all the time?
I'm honored, Laurie.
Hello there. Don't have an apple. We can be friends, can't we, huh? Go away. Come on now, go away. Rick! Rick! This is getting to be a bad habit of mine. Falling on my face.
Except I didn't get here quite quick enough this time.
Hey, Laurie, how about that ride after lunch?
I'd love it.
Guess I'd better get back to work. See you then.
Not after lunch, Hoss, now.
Paul, I've been out digging post tools all morning. And as empty as a rain barrel in the drive.
Well, Hop Singh has got the picnic basket prepared. You two could leave right now. How about it?
I have to change first.
Well, go ahead, scoot. She and Rick have been together since breakfast. And it's perfectly all right, but you know, Luke, he wouldn't care for it, so make it a long ride. Huh?
Well, I was sort of figuring on a nap.
Hoss, what's the matter with you? You got a whole afternoon ahead of you, the beautiful young girl?
Yeah, that's just a problem. Don't you think she's a little too young?
Oh, don't let her hear you say that.
No. I'll go get the buggy. Laurie, there's still some chicken and cake and stuff over here.
Here, I couldn't.
Oh. Sorry, Mr. Ant, but you're a little late for the picnic.
I mean, seems no matter where you stop to eat, they always show up.
Oh, sure they do. They got a system, you know. Yeah. A little guy.
We all thought that he went to Mexico. Only last week we heard that he headed this way.
Well, since you're no longer Marshal, why are you tracking him down?
It's a special case, Ben. I'm still carrying one of his bullets in my leg.
Father, it's so beautiful here. Can't we just forget about that old Billy Miller? For today, at least.
Oh, all right.
I'm all unpacked. You should see the view from upstairs. There's the cutest little burro in the corral.
Yeah, he's a cute little one. Total stranger wandered in one day. We were waiting for his owner to come along and pick him up.
Hey, you know something? There's nothing he'd like better than to be fed a big, juicy apple by a pretty little gal. Come on.
Really, I can feed it?
Sure.
She's a sweet child. Busy as a whirlwind and iron-headed sometimes, but she's a sweet child.
Sweet she is, but a child she is not.
Oh, yes, she is, in more ways than one. All those years at school, she's got a lot of growing up to do.
Well, all children do, Luke. But, tell me about this, Billy Miller.
Very dangerous man, guilty of murder twice over. But all we could prove in court was mail robbery. Ben, in my bag upstairs, I've got $1,000. I'm offering it as a reward for him, dead or alive.
Luke, you're a pretty good marshal, so you're going to find out about this sooner or later anyway. Might as well tell you. There's a young fella in town. Been here about, 10 or 12 months, working at the blacksmith shop. And he never made a secret of the fact that he served time in prison. But we all like him a great deal.
Well, that's your privilege. But it's probably a mistake.
Well, be that as it may, the reason I'm telling you this is it can't be the same fellow you're looking for, because this one is a young'un. But his name is Miller, too. Not Billy Miller, Rick Miller.
Could be a relative. When a man's on the run, he always goes somewhere to find somebody for help. Family, maybe.
Well, I didn't want to intimate that there was any relationship between
Ben,
them.
I think I'd better ride into town and have a talk with this young fellow. You said he was at the blacksmith shop, huh?
Well, yeah, he's at the blacksmith shop.
Ben, I need a horse.
Would you just... Yeah, sure, of course.
Yes. And then I gotta change, I think.
Oh, he's going away.
Yeah, well, look, like I was saying, there's a dance Saturday night. I thought it'd be kind of a good idea if you and I
Hey,
went.
wait a minute, you two. I was the one that brought it up first. And the way I figured, I got first dig.
Joe?
What do you mean you get first digs? It was Candy and I that met her at the stage. I think if anybody gets first digs...
Joe. Joe, your pa is calling.
Oh. Yeah, well, you think about what I said, huh?
See you later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, Hoss, he's about half right. It was me and Joe that picked her up at the stage.
Oh, well, gentlemen, I'm sure there'll be enough dances for everyone. Now, I probably shouldn't admit this, but I've never been to a real dance.
Oh, yeah?
I've learned how. I learned how in school, but it was always just with the girls.
Well, I'll tell you, Lori, this one Saturday night will be somewhat different.
I guess I must have made a mistake. I mentioned Rick Miller, and he immediately assumed that he was related to this fella that he's tracking. And, boy, he's sure rough on anybody who's ever served time in prison.
Maybe he's been a lawman too long.
Maybe, but anyway, I'd like you to ride in with Luke, just so Rick knows he still has some friends.
Settle to us.
The biggest problem I have is not breaking a little gal's feet when I step on them.
You bet.
Hey, where you going, Joe?
I gotta go to town.
Oh, that's too bad. Take your time. Don't hurry back.
So, Lori, what'd you do before you came out here?
Oh, nothing really, just school.
More competition.
Andy?
Hi, Rick.
Hello, Rick.
country. It's so beautiful. So different from...
Yes, it is.
Wish it were just a vacation trip.
Well, it is for you. New country to see and
But
enjoy.
not for you.
Oh, it's not that bad. Just one more job
One more job, one more man to send to prison.
No, back to prison. Billy Miller escaped,
Okay,
remember?
come on. Come on, honey. The stage is ready to go.
Not doing any good looking at that watch. It's not gonna make the stage come in on time.
Joe, Candy?
Hey, Rick, how's it going?
Hi, Rick.
Mr. Cartwright,
No, listen, did you get that horse shot?
No, not yet. That mare throws his front foot out a little bit. I was gonna build a special shoe and weight it some on the inside, see if I couldn't correct it.
Yeah, it might be a good idea.
I hear tell there's a marshal on his way into town.
Yes, there is, as a matter of fact. Old friend of mine, Luke Mansfield. Oh, he's just coming here for a vacation, Rick. I don't think it has anything to do with you. Luke?
How are you?
Well, finally, after 15 years. Luke, my son Joseph.
Joe, of course. How are you?
And this is Candy, one of my hands.
Candy, how are you?
Clumsy me, thank you.
That'll be all, boy. She can stand up without your help.
Father, if he hadn't caught me, I'd be flat in the dust. He was trying to help.
I know what he was trying to do.
Marshal, I
Come on.
was hoping that...
Ben, I brought along a surprise for you. I want you to meet my little girl, Laurie.
Father, how many times do I have to tell you I'm not a little girl?
Indeed, she's not a little girl. She's a beautiful young lady. Laurie, how nice to see you.
Hello.
My son Joseph.
Pleasure, man.
How do you do?
And this is Candy.
Ma'am.
Now, you boys get the luggage down, and the series right over here. Follow me.
Thank you very much.
Come on, dear.
Well, tell you, Luke, I was hoping you could make this a real vacation. You know, take it easy, enjoy yourself.
Well, as a matter of fact, I handed in my resignation a month ago. Now that Laurie has finished school, I thought I'd settle down and make a home for her.
Well,
Then this one piece of unfinished business got in the way.
Unfinished business?
A man I put in prison a long time ago broke out 10, 12 months ago.
Hey, Rick, you could have saved yourself a trip out here, old buddy. I was going to come get that horse tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, Candy, but I wanted to come out anyhow.
Yeah, I'll bet you did.
Hi. I didn't have a chance to thank you properly this morning. Are you Rick?
Yes?
Hi, I'm Laurie Mansfield.
Rick Miller. The reason I came out, Miss Laurie, is I'd like to speak to your father.
Of course, he's in the house. Come with me. Father, we were just coming in to see you. This is Rick Miller. He wants to talk to you.
Well, that saves me a ride into town.
Father, be pleasant, please.
Go in the house, Laurie.
Can't you be pleasant for a minute? He only wants to talk to you.
Do as I say. Go in the house.
Hope we'll meet again, Rick.
Rick Miller. Where'd you do time, boy? Down in Yuma? With your Uncle Billy, or is he your cousin? Did you two work it out together before they let you go, boy?
No, sir.
Did you tell him you had a place ready and waiting for him when he broke out?
No, sir. It wasn't like that at all.
I want the truth, boy. You remember what it's like down there in Yuma prison. I can put you right back there. Just like that.
Father!
Marshal, I came out here to tell you about Billy.
He came all the way out here, and you treat him like an animal. What kind of a man are you?
You ask me that, ask him. Look at him, sick with fear. It's written all over him. The mark of a jailbird. I wouldn't lay a hand on him. Anyway, I told you to go in the house.
I know what you told me. Staying right here.
Pull yourself together, boy. Nobody's gonna touch you. You said you came out here to tell me something. All right, let's hear it.
Marshal, I was up in Fernley when Billy broke out. I didn't know nothing about it till he got here. He was all shot up. He'd been riding for a long time, didn't have no care or medicine. I hid him in a shack up by where I was working. I reckon I shouldn't have done it, Mr. Cartwright, but he was my blood kin, my cousin. There weren't even time to get a doctor. He just kept getting sicker and sicker. He died in a couple hours. I buried him up there, Marshal.
Well, now, isn't that convenient? You came all the way out here just to tell me.
Father, stop it. Please.
Billy had a good reason to want my hide. It's a trap, isn't it, boy? You want to sucker me out there with some tall tale just so Billy could have target practice?
No, sir.
One sure way to find out, Luke.
Whereabouts in Fernley?
About 3 miles northeast of the old Silver Dollar Mine.
Yeah, it's a long ride. You'll need company. Candy, Joe, you go along with Luke. And you'll need supplies and bedrolls.
Right. We'll get the supplies in town. This is official business. The government will pay for all we need. If it is a trap, we don't want him at our backs.
Well, I'll see that he stays here.
When you find that grave, Father, remember to be ashamed.
Laurie, you don't understand, dear. When I get back, we'll have a nice long talk.
A nice long lecture, you mean?
Really?
Well, this time I'm not going to listen. Not unless you apologize first.
Should be all right, Luke. I think so, Ben. Anybody else's hands, I'd wonder.
Well, chores aren't going to get done by themselves, that's for sure.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Lori. Maybe later on you and I can take a little ride around the ranch. Would you like that? See you later.
What did you do to Rick last night? Tie him up and lock him in the barn?
No. What gave you that idea? He's in the tack room. You said he'd stay until your father came back. There's no reason to tie him up. What are you talking about? You went out to do some work.
You believed him. Now, why couldn't Father?
Well, we know him. Your father doesn't. We've known him for close to a year. Like him. Can't say I agree with everything he does, like taking in an escaped convict. I don't think that was right, although I can understand it.
He was cruel. You're not.
No, Laurie. He's not cruel. Being a lawman in wilderness territory is pretty rough going. You can't just take every stranger at face value. It might cost you your life. Your father helped make this country a fit place to live, and he did it mostly on his own. No one else to depend upon but himself.
That still is no reason for him to treat Rick like an outlaw and a liar. He has no right to play God. That's what he does, always. With me. I think I was still 5 years old or something.
Laurie, pass me that plate, would you please? You know, you can't blame a father for wanting his little girl to remain a little girl. Anyway, he hasn't had much chance to see you grow up. You know that, don't you?
That was his own fault. Ever since I was little, he's kept me in boarding schools. He's never cared about me, Uncle Ben. If I as much as got a note from him on my birthday, it was heaven.
Laurie, you've got to believe this. Your father loves you very much. When your mother died, he couldn't keep you with him. It was impossible the way he was moving around all the time because of his work. You should have heard him yesterday. How happy he was talking about the home he was going to make for you and him.
Is that for Rick?
Yes, he said he wasn't hungry before. I just thought I'd take it out.
May I bring it to him? You said you trusted him.
Of course.
I wish he were like you. Father and me. I can talk to you. There's never been anyone to talk to.
Well, I suppose no matter where you are, if you're lonely or miserable, whether you're in prison or...
A fancy Eastern school. Talk about it so easily. I think you'd want to forget about it. Lie about it, even.
Twin time, you mean? It wouldn't get me no place. Somebody somewhere would turn up who knew me, and I'd have to start all over again. I reckon it's best to face up to it right from the start.
But it's so unfair. It's not what you've been that should count. It's what you are.
Well, if I hadn't been caught robbing that cash box, I suppose I would have probably figured it was unfair that all I had to show for my trouble was $17.
$17?
76 cents.
Time you got here?
All right, hallelujah. What is it this time?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. I got grub cooked for 25 cowhands. Where's the cowhand? Or maybe me and you's driving them mossy-backed Texas critters all the way to Nevada by ourselves. I'm telling you right now, I quit.
This is the third time today you feathered out, hallelujah.
I got a reason to be feathered out. Grub for 25 hands is spoiling there in the kettle. No one to eat it.
You're coming on behind.
I've been up since day. Oh, 25 of them?
All 25 of them.
Cartwright, I don't know what you're thinking about setting one man do all the cooking for a crowd like that. I've been up since daylight, cooking food, peeling potatoes, chalking the fire.
Throw up a picket line here.
Is that our hens?
Oh, just the advance party.
They sure are a scroungy-looking bunch, ain't they?
Well, I didn't have much choice. Not too many want to take a herd the way we're going. Oh, Brazos!
Hoss, this is our new segundo. Brazos, my son Hoss.
Hi. Brazos what?
Brazos, that's all.
Brazos rounded up our crew. He knows the country we'll be traveling.
Where'd you round them up? Out of the nearest jail?
Some of them, maybe. Driving cattle up the trail ain't exactly my idea of a church social. I want the hardest boys I can find.
Well, it looks like you found him, mister.
Brazos, feed your men. We'll pull out at daybreak. And Brazos, let's not have any trouble.
Trouble, Mr. Cartwright? You know, trouble only comes to those who can't handle it.
His face in the frying pan on his head.
Howdy.
Figured on eating, drag up some wood and get some water in the barrel. Tree's right down there, creek just below the rise.
You driving a herd north?
Now, what would put an idea like that in your head? We just sashaying these critters up and down and up so they'll get an appetite for the victuals. Won't get too fat in the middle. Yeah. Tree's right down there.
Who's the trail boss?
Mr. Ben Cartwright. I declare you're nothing but questions. Here. Creek right there below the rise. Take about 10 buckets to fill the barrel.
Yes, sir. This here Mr. Cartwright, is he doing any hiring?
Now, boy, I got a passel of hungry trail hands to feed, and I ain't got no time to waste answering foolish questions.
Yes, sir. Maybe you could put in a word for me. My name's Sam Jackson.
You are the dangdest, gabbiest fella when there's work to be done. Maybe I'll put a word in for you, and maybe I won't.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Who's that?
Who's a young fella riding grub line? He's be a nice willing boy, too.
Yeah. I see you done put him to work. Hallelujah. What do you got against cutting your own wood and hauling your own water?
It ain't in keeping with my position. Mr. Hoss, my job's driving mules and cooking, and I'll thank you to keep your big, fat, cow-smelly hands out of my donuts.
My hands ain't neither cow-smelly.
Well, if you want to eat, you go and help that boy get in some wood. Somebody got to haul me some water. Went to town to buy me some goods. Got myself lost in a piece of wood.
Hallelujah, you undoubtedly got the worst voice I ever heard in my life.
Good enough for the mules. They like it.
They probably think you're some kin. That axe ought not to be that heavy, kid. Ought to tuck you out like that.
Don't you tell me nothing about axes. I've been swinging axes all my life.
How many of them did you ever swing on an empty stomach? Yeah. You go nowhere and sit down. Oh, hallelujah, ought to know better than send a man out on a job like this on an empty stomach. You looking for work?
I sure am.
What can you do?
Ride, rope, drive cows.
All right.
I can read and write and cipher up to the 12 times table.
You can.
And I know more about cows than any of them ragged-tailed brush poppers you got in your drive.
Well, that ain't saying a whole lot. That ought to be plenty. We don't want to spoil old hallelujah. Come on, let's pick our meal, take it up, and get on back.
Okay.
Hallelujah, this ought to hold you for a while.
When you gonna get the rest of it?
Got us a new hand, Paul.
Looks like I might tug it out.
Yeah, I reckon he ain't been feeding regular. Hey, kid, come here a minute. This is... Dang, I don't think I got your name.
Sam Jackson.
Sam?
Sam's educated, boy. He can read, write, cipher, and keep a tally book the whole shooting match.
Well, you looking for a job, son?
Yes, sir. I sure could use a job real handy.
Brazos? Yes, sir. Segundo. Brazos, this is Sam Jackson. Put him to work and fix him up with a string.
All right, Mr. Cartwright. This way, Sam, and I'll get you fixed up.
Looks like a nice boy. Something wrong?
No, Paul. I reckon everything's all right.
Kid. Sam Jackson, huh? When they let you out, or did you bust out?
Now, look, brothers, let's get this straight. You don't ask me no questions, and I won't cause you no trouble.
Now, you look. Nobody's causing anybody any trouble. Now, you and I always had the same kind of ideas, kid. And we still have.
I went to jail. You didn't.
Got a good book?
Yeah, pretty good.
Let me see. Hey, Paul. Pickwick Papers by Dickens. It's quite a book. You like it?
Yeah, I like it fine. I had it with me ever since I left home.
Where is home, Sam?
Back a ways.
Back a ways, which way?
I'm from Nacogdoches.
It's a fur piece. You don't sound much like a Texan.
Well, I ain't to begin with. My mom moved down with the relatives after Pa died.
Sam, how come you happen to be on this trail?
Well, I thought I'd like to make something of myself. And there ain't much opportunity for that in a place like Nacogdoches. If you'll excuse me, I think I'll go check my horse. Good night. Good night, sir.
Good night. I like that boy. I said I like that boy.
Yeah, I heard you, Paul.
Yeah, what's bothering you?
I don't know for certain, Paul. There's something about that boy. I can't lay to exactly what it is. Sort of the same thing I feel about the colts every year at breaking time. They're a little uncertain and uneasy, and if you spook them the wrong way, they'll go bad on you every time.
Johnny. Same old Johnny. Smooth with the tongue, fast on the draw.
The name's Sam Jackson.
Take it easy, kid. We gotta make some plans.
What I'm doing is personal, something I gotta take care of myself, and I don't want you spoiling it. You hear?
Oh, I ain't gonna spoil it, Johnny, but I want in on it. I got whipped out of town by that Sheriff Logan. I still got the marks on my back. Man, don't forget that.
I'm sorry, Brazos. I'm going it alone this time.
Paying off the men, Captain?
Well, they're entitled to part of their wages.
You know, being entitled to it's one thing and money in the hand's another. If them galoots hit town with money, they're going to raise more devilment in one night than you've seen your whole life. Well, they'll tree that town like a possum.
Hallelujah, will you tell me one thing?
Sure.
Why'd your folks name you Hallelujah instead of Jeremiah?
Jeremiah. Show him who's Jeremiah. Ain't you going to town with the rest of them border hellions?
Don't want to spend the money, Mr. Hicks. I'm saving.
No. What you saving your money for, boy?
Well, I want to make something of myself, and it seems a man needs money to do that.
You know, I worry when I hear a young fella talking like that. I really do. Ain't natural.
I understand you aim to hold your herd here. Plan on letting your men go into town?
Any law against it?
My name's John Logan. I'm sheriff for Waycross Station. I suggest you keep your men right here in camp.
My name's Ben Cartwright, Mr. Logan. My hands have come a long way with that herd, Mr. Logan. They're entitled to ease up a little. I won't stop them from going into town.
There's a deadline on Front Street. Any of your hands go above it, I'll run them in for disturbing the peace. If they resist, I'll kill them. Good day, sir.
Mr. Logan, enforcing the law is one thing. Killing a man's another. You kill any of my men, I'll come after you myself.
Mister, you've been fairly warned. Johnny?
You made a mistake, mister. The name is Sam. Sam Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. I made a mistake. I thought you were somebody I once knew. A long time ago.
It's nothing like meeting old friends again, huh, kid?
I've changed my mind, Mr. Cartwright. I'd like some of my pay.
Are you going into town after all?
I'm going into town.
This is it, Mr. Cartwright.
What happens if we go beyond this point? What stops us?
2 barrels a buck.
I guess this is as far as we go, boys.
What kind of an outfit are you running, Captain? Letting a town constable push you around.
Well, Brazos, I should have known you'd be along.
You know my foreman?
I know him.
Don't pay any attention to this tin star. It don't mean a thing. Why?
Go for your gun, Logan. I won't wait. Put down that gun. Put it down. There'll be no killing. We'll obey the law. First man that starts anything will answer to me. That holds for you, Sheriff. You'll answer to me for any brutality to my crew.
Just see that they obey the law. All right, man, the town's yours. That part of it.
You heard the man. Sam, I want to talk to you. Why'd you throw in with Brazos like that?
He's riding trail with us, ain't he?
Isn't that carrying loyalty to your outfit a little too far? What have you got against Sheriff Logan?
Mr. Cartwright, I just don't know what you're talking about.
Don't play cozy with me, boy. You answer my question.
He's my pa.
Your pa? You're gonna throw down on your own father?
That's right. And just as soon as I get the chance, I'm gonna kill him. shovel, Logan. You don't eat.
It's getting a little wild in here.
What do you mean, wild?
You know exactly what I mean.
I'm an honest businessman. And no badge toter's gonna come in here and tell me how to run that business.
You're a tin-horn cheat, and you'll do exactly as I tell you. Close up the street. Pass that around.
Hostile, ain't he?
He's ruined this town. Give $100 to be rid of him.
If I were you, I wouldn't make that kind of an offer. Somebody'll have to take you up on it. Had a good time?
It's all right.
Pretty ancient.
I guess so.
Don't play engine with me, boy. I can tell just looking at you what you're thinking. Want to meet her?
Don't do me any favors, Brazos.
I owe you a favor for siding me out on the street. Come on. Sam, meet Melinda Bowers. Melinda meets Sam. He's all right.
Well, I'd just love it if your friend would sit down and buy me a bottle of wine, Brazos. We could talk, get to know each other better.
We sure could. Sam, buy the little lady a bottle of wine.
I'd be real pleased, Miss Melinda.
I'll order it for you.
Logan?
Well, what can I do for you two gentlemen?
Mr. Logan, either my son or I would like to accompany you on your rounds.
Oh? What good would that do?
Well, you said you didn't want to see any trouble on the part of my crew. Thought we'd like to prevent that trouble before any of it ever gets started.
And you think that your talk would be more effective than my scattergun?
Well, they're my crew.
Mr. Cartwright, how many trail drives have you made up from Texas?
I've made my share.
Mr. Cartwright, I drove a half a dozen herds before I turned peace officer. I didn't have any more control over my trail gangs than you do.
I'm aware of the problems, Mr. Logan.
Mr. Cartwright, you've got the scum of the border driving your herds. You're completely at their mercy. Now, you tromp on them hard enough to keep them in line, they'll quit you, leaving you with 2,000-3,000 head, 900 miles from a market. You can't afford that.
They're my cattle. Let me worry about them.
I'm not talking about cattle. I'm talking about some crazy, boozed-up trail hand. Thinks it might be fun to blow out all the glass windows on Main Street. Well, if he tries it, I'm going to have to stop him. And if I have to kill him, I'll do that, too.
Don't you think that's a mite unreasonable?
Either of you men ever see a town get treed?
No, sir, I can't say we have. Must be quite a sight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a sight. Property smashed. Men beaten up for no reason at all except some drunken cowboy feels like it. Buildings set on fire. And the women. Oh, the women. A lot of broken, weeping women left in a town after it's been treed by a trail gang.
I've heard of things like that happening.
You've heard of it? Well, I've seen it right here less than 2 years ago. And your foreman, Mr. Cartwright, a fellow they called Brazos, he was in on that fandango. When it was all over with, I tied him to the tail of a wagon and black-snaked him out of town. Now he's come back, looking for more trouble.
What about your son? Did you black snake him out of town, too?
You know about that?
I know about it.
My son's pushing to get himself killed. I don't want to oblige him. Well, now it's started. What are you waiting for?
Don't you come near me. Don't you come near me. I am bad and I am mean.
Oh, I'll bet you are.
He knows what he's doing.
You're just about the meanest and baddest thing I run into in my life. Why, a man could die downright happy just after shaking the hand of a mean killer like you.
You want to shake my hand? Is that all? Think it'll kill you?
Why, sure. I tell you, it'd be an honor and a privilege getting killed by a bad man like you. I don't think tonight's a real good night for killing, do you?
You old friend. How could I ever think of killing an old friend like you?
All right, Hoss.
Yeah, I'll take him down to the livery stable and let him sleep it off, Paul.
Good idea.
Can't you find anything better to do than sit in a saloon?
I'll see you later.
You two boys know each other?
We met.
What do you think you're up to, boy?
I don't see as how that's any of your business, Mr. Cartwright.
You signed on as one of my trail gang. Getting those cattle back to Nevada is my business. You stay away from Logan. Yeah, keep this gentleman here for a while.
What was that all about?
Why don't I just buy you another bottle of wine, Miss Melinda?
Some other time. I'm through work now. I'm going home.
I'll walk you home.
Well, what about that fellow you work for? You heard what he said.
He didn't say anything about not taking you home.
Been a long time since anybody worried about me getting home. I'll get my key.
You and a little lady hitting it off pretty good, ain't you, kid? You gonna take her home?
Yeah.
She lives across the deadline. You know what that means, don't you?
I said I was taking the lady home.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Something on your mind, cowboy?
I was wondering about you. Your face don't match the way you talk. And sometimes your talk don't match, well, the things you do.
Well, I'm sorry I don't have time to explain it to you. This is as far as you go. That's Sheriff Logan's deadline.
Warning. Trail hands forbidden beyond this point.
You read good. That means you.
I don't care about that tin horn, Sheriff. I'm walking you home.
All right. We don't have far to go. I live right around the corner at the hotel.
Miss Bowers,
Why don't you call me Melinda? Other cowboys do.
well, there's something I'd kind of like to ask you.
I'll bet a pretty it's gonna be, how did I ever get into this life?
I didn't mean to pry.
No, it's all right. I'm used to it.
What I meant was, well, you ain't always worked at Jake Rudabaugh's saloon, have you?
Ever since those men on that trail gang, I did.
What trail gang? What men you talking about?
Just a bunch of fellas having a good time, at least to start with. Men like yourself and Brazos and the rest of you. There was one I liked a lot. Had more fun I ever had in my whole life. But then they went wild and hoorah'd the town. By the time John Logan organized things and cleaned them out, well, the decent folks just wouldn't give a job to anybody that had anything to do with the trail gang. So there was nothing left for me to do but go to Rudabaugh's saloon.
Sounds to me like all you was doing is having a little fun.
Try and tell that to the good people of Waycross. Good night, kid.
Good night, Melinda.
There's a lot more to being a peace officer than just busting up fights. Now, when there's a trail gang in town, I make the rounds all night long. Never try to walk the same route twice. You might run into some...
Evening, Hoss.
What are you doing here? You're over the deadline.
I can't see as I'm doing any harm.
No, you never did any harm, did you? Well, I'm taking you in.
Mr. Logan, you ain't taking me in. I told you a long time ago, you ain't never taking me in again. And don't you even try.
Thanks. Help me take him in. In there.
How long are you figuring on leaving him in there?
Overnight, anyway. If somebody wants to take responsibility for him, they can bail him out in the morning.
Sam, I'm sorry to see you get yourself into this trouble. I reckon you kind of brought it on yourself going across that deadline, though.
It wasn't this, it'd have been something else. He's out to get me is all it is. He always has been.
Oh, Sam, I can't believe that.
What do you know about it? You want to know what kind of a father he is? He sent me to prison when I was just a kid.
Prison? What'd you do to go to prison?
Nothing. Not a thing. I was running around with some fellas. Brazos was one of them. We hoorah'd at town one night, just letting off some steam. Some woman got hit by a stray bullet. Could have been anybody's bullet. But I spent a year in jail. Because my pa wanted to show the world how tough he was.
Sam, did you ever think that maybe he did that to save you some bigger trouble later on?
Yeah, I thought about it. I thought about it plenty. All the time I was locked up, I thought about how I was going to get back at him for what he'd done to me.
Boy, you can't carry that with you the rest of your life.
Oh, I don't intend to. I'm going to kill him.
Cost $25. Don't put it on until you're well out of town.
Wait for me outside, Sam. I told you not to lean too hard on my men.
And I told you what the limits were and what would happen if your men set foot over that line.
The boy was doing no harm.
He broke an ordinance.
Whose ordinance? The town's or your own little ordinance? I can appreciate a hard man doing a hard job the hard way. I can understand, I can like a tough man, but I can't understand and I cannot like a man who would do a thing like this to his own son.
I never let personal considerations interfere with the law.
Is that why your son was so willing to kill you when you placed him under arrest?
Mr. Cartwright, that's none of your business. answer is no. I'm not going to open up the town.
Now, see here, John. Let's talk this over like sensible men. The town is losing money.
Judge Armbrust is right, Logan. It isn't just this crew we'll lose money on, but all the other crews coming up the trail behind them. If they find out the town's closed, they'll avoid us like the 7-year itch.
This town used to collect $600-700 in fines alone from trail hands. Almost enough to pay your year's salary, John.
75% of that money went right into your pocket, Judge. Your court clerk got the rest of it.
Now, look here.
Look here, nothing. When you brought me here to clean up this town. There's only one way to do it. Let's keep it closed. Closed tight. There'll be no compromise while I'm sheriff.
Well, maybe you won't be sheriff much longer.
All right, do it your way for a while. When you're sick of it, let me know. I'll be here waiting. A good day, gentlemen.
Say hallelujah about that cut on your face.
Hallelujah. Take a look at this, please.
You heard the owl, seen the elephant, huh? Sit down there on that stool and let me have a look at that face. Yeah, fine. That horse got a real professional touch when it comes to buffalo. Yes, sir. That boy learned how taking care of his little brother. Seems those two never go to town on Saturday night. Horse don't come home carrying little Joe across the saddle. Bet he saved his skin 100 times or more just trying to keep him out of trouble.
You can keep me out of trouble.
And when the way it was told to me, that don't amount to much. Slow down your eating for a couple of days. Don't spoil your appetite.
What happened, Johnny? It's like I told you, a man ought not try to do a job alone.
I'll get to Logan yet.
Sure, Johnny. But now we'll do it my way. Now, Logan's plumb ticklish about that town of his. If we were to ride in there and start taking it apart...
I told you before, this is something between him and me, personal.
But you wouldn't object to me and the boys flushing him out into the open for you, would you?
Brazos?
Yes, sir. I said we'd do it my way, Johnny. Yes, sir?
Brazos have decided to pull out first thing tomorrow morning.
Is that right, Captain? No. Well, in that case, I better try to get the boys back from town early.
Nobody goes to town. You've had your fun. Go back into town, it'll mean trouble.
That's right, Captain. But if you try to stop me and my boys from going back, that's going to cause trouble, too. Unless you figure that it's no trouble for you and that boy of yours and that stove-up cook of yours to drive this herd to Nevada all by yourselves.
You're threatening me, Brazos.
Oh, now, Captain, don't get sudden. There's no call for it. No call for it at all. It's just that I've got a personal interest in Sheriff Logan and that town of his. No man blacksnakes me and gets away with it.
I'm not interested in your personal grudges.
You ain't, Captain? Well, you should be. The rest of these boys, they're interested in my personal grudges, ain't you, boys? I guess I should have told you at the start of this drive, Captain. These boys do what I say, not what you say.
You pack your war bag and get. The rest of you settle down. You hide honest trail hands, and by thunder, you'll finish this job.
You're gonna have to back that up, Captain. All right, boys. Tell him to put his gun away.
Boss.
How about you, Johnny? You coming along? You kind of wanted to pay your pa another visit, did you?
Stay out of this, Sam.
I don't reckon I can stay out of this, Mr. Cartwright. I got a personal grudge, too, that ain't finished yet.
How about you, Cookie?
I'm sticking with the captain.
Well, suit yourself and get over here. And you two. Take their guns and keep your eyes on them. I don't want anybody spoiling our fun. Come on, boys.
After last night, we wanted a chance to show you just how sorry we were for what happened. Judge Armbruster, tell these men what we decided on for today.
Well, we want to see you boys enjoy yourselves. Spend your money in our stores. We've lifted Sheriff Logan's deadline, and our merchants are staying up late in order to serve you. The town is yours.
Well, ain't that nice? Boys, ain't that the nicest thing you ever heard in your lives? Tell you what, Judge. Maybe you can get Sheriff Logan to come down and have a drink with us. Socialize a little.
Well, I'm afraid, sir, I have no control over Sheriff Logan's movements.
What kind of a judge do you call that? Boys, I just elected a new judge, namely me.
Look here, sir.
You're in contempt of court, mister. Show the man how we treat contempt of court.
Oh, Judge, meet the boy.
Gentlemen, please, please.
Get back in there.
Enjoy yourself, but not with the judge.
Around,
Come on, man, take it easy.
Boys, the drinks are on the house. They're all free.
Why should I?
Gentlemen, please, there's no reason to destroy the property. What are you at?
Too bad you boys got stuck with this job, miss all the fun. Ain't nothing, all the liquid refreshments.
Yeah. Old Brothers is probably buying drinks for everybody in town, don't you reckon, Hallelujah?
Yeah, buying them or stealing them. Anyway, he's getting them.
Hallelujah. You still got that bottle of whiskey back there?
Sure have, Captain. We ain't had many snake bites this trip. Will you fellas care for a swallow? Ought to know better than to ask you. Now, let me see. Where'd I hide that the last time? I was always getting... It ought to be in here somewhere, right next to the beans.
Find it yet?
Not yet. I'll find her. She's around here somewhere. Let's see, I had her right behind the flower night before last. I'll find her. Here it is. Here it is. I know it was there somewhere. Ain't much left in it there. Here you are, Captain.
What'd you put in that bottle?
Coal oil. Didn't think I'd leave any whiskey in the bottle, did you?
Yeah, well, I'll give you back a full bottle of whiskey from town. Hey, look after things.
Why don't he come out, Brazos? What's he waiting for?
He'll make his play when he's ready.
Why wait on him? Let's go in after him now.
You hurry, we got plenty of time. The boys ain't hardly liquored up enough yet. Hey, boys! Come on, there's plenty more free liquor in the saloon.
Oh, they're all in there. Let me go in there and get Brazos right now.
Never mind, they've got a sheriff in this town.
Yeah, well, it don't seem to me like he's doing a very good job.
Maybe he's got something in his mind.
Well, are you satisfied, Mr. Cartwright? Did you take a good look at what can happen to a town?
You were right, Sheriff. We couldn't control them.
And you can't control them now. It's just going to have to run its course.
Mr. Logan, you got a job to do, and you're getting paid to do it.
Paid to do it? The good citizens of this town told me not to interfere with their money-making enterprises. Well, it's those enterprises that pay my salary. I was reminded of that.
You mean you're not going to do anything to stop them out there?
I am going to sit right here until I get orders from the people who pay me.
Since when do you wait for orders? What's your real reason, Logan?
What do you mean?
Your son is out there with that gang. Could that have anything to do with your decision to stay here inside? What are you ashamed of, Logan? Being a father?
What do you want me to do? Go out there and kill my boy?
Buy you a bottle of wine, kid? I owe you one.
What are you doing here?
You think of a better place?
After all that's happened, I didn't think you'd come back.
Why? Just another trail gang to me. It's happened before and it'll happen again. It's always the same.
You don't think things can change?
Sure, they can change. Enough people decide to back up Sheriff Logan.
Well, I wouldn't count on him for anything.
Then you don't know him very well.
Don't I? He's my father.
Your father?
That's right. And I'm here to kill him.
Hi, Sam. Remember what I tell you. He's a pretty good boy, ain't he?
Yeah. He's the best thing that's happened to me in a long time.
What's the matter with her?
Nothing. Ain't it time yet?
Yeah, it's time.
Come on, boys, let's go! Come on out, Logan!
I guess it's time.
Logan, don't you go out to him.
Come on out!
Let me talk to him.
He's my boy. He's my problem.
I've been waiting for this for a long time, Mr. Logan. Make your move.
Draw!
All right, boy. Get it over with.
What are you waiting for, you stupid kid? Shoot! Why are you yelling no good?
Look out, Logan!
It's your father, boy. But you gonna help him?
Are you all right?
Sure, son. All right, men. We still got a bunch of cows to drive to Nevada.
Sure hard work pushing all that cattle up into that high country.
That water sure does look good, too. You know, to wait to wash off some of this grit.
Careful, little Joe. That's the closest you've come to taking a bath in months. Who are you?
Never mind who I am. Just get off my land.
Your land? What are you talking about, mister?
You know what I'm talking about. You ain't deef, are you?
No, we ain't deef, but are you sure you ain't got just a little bit too much sunshine, old-timer?
Look, well, maybe you kind of got your directions mixed up.
All right, now, don't anybody move.
What do you want to go do a thing like that for, old-timer?
I know my rights. The law says that I can shoot trespassers on sight.
Look, you're on the Ponderosa.
I bought this land, mister, and there ain't nobody going to take it away from me.
Bought it?
I don't want to kill anybody, but I will if you push me.
Nobody's trying to push you, mister, but what makes you think this land is yours?
I said I bought it. $25 hard money. I got the bill of sale to prove it.
I hereby sell you all the land between the east shore of Lake Tahoe and Sun Mountain for $25 cash. Signed, Henry T.P. Comstock.
Henry Comstock.
Old-timer, I guess you were just one of the many who were taken in by our dear friend, Mr. Comstock. I guess you didn't know him any too well, did you?
I don't have to know him. I got the bill of sale there to prove it.
A bill of sale? I know thief is selling the territory in Nevada if he could get away with it.
Looks like he did, too. You remember the first time we ever seen him, little Joe?
Oh, that wild-eyed old mule of his?
Yeah. That black stove pipe hat that made him look pious as a preacher.
You know how many men have draped this tree? 28 men and 1 woman. We figure to make it a nice round figure like 30. All right, let's get it over with.
Whoa, whoa! What the name of creation's your hurry? Mind if I have a last word with my friend?
Friend? You haven't got a friend within 50 miles of Hangtown. Lord, I'm ready whenever you say the word, but Lord, I hope you'll forgive me if I I don't have time to tell these boys about the big new movement going on around here. What in thunder big movement you talking about? Change the name of Hangtown to Placerville. You boys hear of any such goings on around here? Lord, looks like you left these boys up in the hills too long. You know the first law they passed was there'd be no more hangings within the city limits. City limits, how far are they? Clear to the top of the Sierra Nevada mountains. That's a good 100 miles. Mighty ambitious town, Placerville. Lord, you didn't tell these boys nothing. You didn't tell them there's mighty touchy people around here, too. Especially about any unnecessary hanging. Hanging you is about the most necessary thing a hard rock miner could ever do. So we'll escort you the 100 miles over the Sierra Nevada and hang you there. I thank you. Because, Mr. Henry T.P. Comstock, you're about the crookedest, slimiest, most double-dealing, weaseling, lying, thieving, no-good claim jumper that ever hit the state of California.
4 hours. It took 4 hours to bring that thing down.
That isn't such a long time, little Joe. That one, it took 400 years for it to grow.
400 years. Well, that was even before Columbus sailed out of Spain to discover America.
Us, there were trees that were living and growing in this forest. They were old when Christ pulled fish out of the Sea of Galilee.
Don't cut unless you plant.
That's right, Hoss. That's why we're here. Not just to take from the land, but to give.
Yes, sir.
Can you see it? 100 years from now, standing tall against the sky. Plant it, Adam.
Sure, Pa. Well, little Ponderosa, see you around in a couple of 100 years when you're a big Ponderosa.
Thousands of people who one day will come to this land. Be mighty thankful for what we've done.
There's timber up there to build whole new cities. Launch fleets of ships.
Hear that, Hoss? Older brother Adam is planning to build that Yankee fleet of his again.
Yeah, well, it's gonna take a mite more water than we got hereabouts to float it in, little Joe.
Water? Oh, now, you don't think Adam is planning to sail his ships on just plain old water, do you?
I guess you two mountain boys haven't heard. Just so happens I'm planning on ships that sail across sand.
I remember walking across about 600 miles of it the last time Paul sent me to Salt Lake City to file in claim papers.
How would you like to be able to do it in under 3 days?
Oh, come on now. From here to Salt Lake City in 3 days? How you gonna do that? I think he's gonna fly through the air, Hoss.
Maybe 2 days.
Oh, well, maybe one day.
You talking about a railroad, son?
I'd be talking about a railroad, Pa.
Dreams are mighty good things to have, son. You know what it takes to build a railroad?
Track. Track that runs across sand, round mountains, and over rivers. And track ain't nothing but a lot of rail and a bed of ties to lay it on.
You'd cut down all these wonderful trees, provide ties for a railroad?
I'd cut them down, Pa. And I'd put new ones in their place.
Hey, that sounded like a rifle shot.
On the California side,
Sounded to me like it come off the Ponderosa.
Dorothy, if you don't move faster, you're going to be key witness to a hanging.
So he thinks he can sneak away on that old mule. Yeah, come
How do you feel about 4 men chasing 1 man on a mule?
Oh, maybe they have a reason for chasing him. I don't care for the odds.
We sure could improve him, Pa.
We sure could sweeten them up some at that, Pa.
Yeah, we better stop them, too, before they stir up the Paiutes.
Last time somebody stirred them up, 3 families of settlers paid for it with their lives. All right, boys, let's sweeten them.
Adam?
Yeah.
How far over you reckon them fellers are?
About a half a mile, maybe.
Yeah. It's just about what I figured.
Hey, Hoss, even with that Sharp's buffalo gun you got, you don't figure you can hit a target at a half-mile distance.
You watch that feller's hat.
What in thunder was that? Dorothy, that shot comes from the direction I thought it did. Ah.
Hoss, let me see that little squirrel gun of yours for a minute.
Sure, Adam.
See that, Pa?
Couldn't be Comstock. He didn't even have a rifle.
Now, little Joe, what was all this talk about a half a mile?
Good shoot. You want to try it, little Joe?
Yeah, I better.
You right sure now?
Well, I think I better if I want to stay living with this family. That's a mighty fine old gun you got there, Hoss.
Mighty good shooting.
That's just the kind of thing any New Orleans boy learns to do by the time he learns to walk.
Take a crack at it, Paul.
Well, if I have to. Just to show you young whippersnappers.
Go ahead, you can't miss now.
Give that rifle.
Mighty fine shooting, Paul.
We gotta get out of here, Heck. Them ain't men, they're devils.
Where are they shooting from? That's what I want to know.
I don't know where it's coming from, but it's the best darn shooting I ever saw. Good shooting, all right, but it's done by men like us, not devils. Thank you for looking favorably on the countenance of this miserable sinner, Lord. I sure do appreciate it, I sure do. And to prove it, I won't lie or steal or ever jump any other fellow's claim again as long as I live. Strike me dead if I do, Lord. You strike me dead.
Heck, I don't like this place. Feels haunted to me. Why don't we go back to California?
Let's go back.
We only came here to get rid of that Comstock fellow in the first place.
Not get rid of him, hang him. I promised myself to see that old thief hanged, and I mean to keep that promise.
Yeah, I think we scared those fellows off. They're heading back to California.
Yeah. Maybe they aren't.
Quite an exhibition of skill, my friends. Truly the best exhibition of the fine art of rifle shooting I've ever seen. Since the days of that esteemed gentleman, Quincy P. Strongheart. Yes, I can see it all just as though it were yesterday. My boyhood chum, Quincy P., raised at my side in sight of the stormy and treacherous waters of Lake Nipishama.
What in the tarnation you talking about, mister?
What'd you do to stir up all that excitement?
It's probably one of them claim jumpers they run out of California.
Lad, I beseech you, don't mention that evil place to me. I, Henry T.P. Comstock, who have roamed the four corners of the earth, have sailed every shore and coastline of the seven seas, never want to hear the name of that foul-sounding place again as long as I live.
Why were you run out?
I? You think I, Henry Comstock, was run out of California?
Run out and told never to come back. How many claims did you jump?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's you. Lord, right where I stand, if I, Henry Comstock, ever jumped, or even thought of jumping any other gold miner's claim, strike me dead. Not yet, Lord. I know I'm a miserable sinner, and certain things have been known to cling to my fingers, but I'm not ready yet, Lord, to meet the hellfires of retribution. Not yet, Lord. Not yet.
Hellfires of retribution, you hear that, little Joe?
Well, I figure if a man's going to get religion, he might as well get it in a hurry.
Mr. Comstock, before your time is up, I think there's room for at least one good meal in there to help see you through that final journey.
Do my ears deceive me, or did I hear you mention food? Gentlemen, when do we eat? You too, Dorothy. Dorothy, food, come. Gentlemen, I have feasted at the tables of kings and dined in the company of millionaires, but never, I repeat, never have I enjoyed such a meal as this.
This is Hop Sing's doing, Mr. Comstock. In all of your traveling, did you ever meet a finer cook?
My good man, worthy descendant of Confucius that you might be, I must compliment you on having acquired a skill and wizardry in the culinary arts unmatched in all this land.
He no like the lip?
No, he likes him, Hop Sing.
Oh, very good. I bring more. Got plenty more.
Yeah, you do that, Hop Sing. You do that.
Mr. Comstock, do you have any late news of my good friend, Captain John Sutter?
Sir, you're referring to Captain John Sutter of the Sacramento Valley?
Are there any other Captain John Sutters?
And the poor man, he's a cause of sadness and melancholy to all of his friends.
What's the matter? Is he getting worse?
Not only getting worse, he's almost gone, as has his mind. Young man, pass that plate of sweet corn, please.
You mean you're still hungry?
I haven't seen corn as smooth and golden as this since I was a boy on the shores of Lake Semihuchi.
I thought you said over on the mountain, Lake Nipishama.
Nipishama one side, Semihuchi on the other. Lots of lake in that neck of the woods.
Well, just what neck of the woods was that?
You boys familiar with foreign lands?
No, we've never been out of the country. Why?
Oh, it's a shame that you can't know too much about wonderful country of my childhood, Canada.
Well, this Napatchki and Skauchi Hiwachi, whatever you call it. Are they in Canada?
On the other side of the Frangatang Mountains.
Mr. Comstock, what about my friend Captain Sutter?
Poor man. It's a pity to what's happened to him. You wouldn't recognize him anymore.
How bad is he, Mr. Comstock?
Not just one more? Just a small one?
Later. In fact, I think we've all had enough to eat for now. Hop Sing?
Yes, Mr. Cartwright. You like a dinner?
Yes, dinner was very good, Hop Sing, very good.
Very good, Hop Sing, and I do thank you.
Very good.
We'll have a coffee in here.
Yes, Mr. Cartwright.
Mr. Comstock? Brandy?
Yes, don't mind if I do. Thank you, sir. You're very kind. Nice little place you got here. Reminds me of the time I was the guest of Queen Victoria at Buckingham Palace.
I'll ride on down to the sawmill, pal. Have him bring those trees in we cut down.
Fine, Adam, fine. Oh, Adam, do you need any help?
Well, come to think of it, we are a little short-handed. How would you like to work for us, Mr. Comstock? We pay good money, $1 American a day.
Work? What kind of work is that?
Oh, hauling, cutting timber. Good, healthy outdoor work from sun up to sundown.
Sun up? Oh, I'm afraid that's not the kind of work I do.
Just what kind of work do you do, Mr. Comstock? I'd be real anxious to know.
Yeah, well, I'm a merchant. Yes, that's what I am, a merchant.
Oh, a merchant?
Yeah. Sometimes I buy, sometimes I sell. It all depends on the state of business, among other things. Very good health, sir.
Among other things, Mr. Comstock, do you ever indulge in something called panning for gold?
You mean you folks don't cotton to folks who pan for gold?
I told you I planted the first field of grain with John Sutter in the valley of the Sacramento. Together we planted those hillsides with vines, with fruit-bearing trees. You know what they did to that land, those locusts, those ravagers who answered the cry of gold in California? They tore out those vines. They chopped down those trees. They trampled that wheat. Is it any wonder that John Sutter sits on his porch now, staring into the sun by the hour, recognizing no one, seeing nothing?
You know about him, don't you?
I know all about them. And that's why I came to the Ponderosa, my sons and I. And that's why I made my vow that never would these 1,000 square miles of God-made country be delivered into the hands of those spoilers, those destroyers. Mr. Comstock, if I so much as see a man digging for gold anywhere on my land, I'll shoot him at sight.
Gold? You don't mean there's gold up here in western Utah, do you?
Well, that's what we keep telling those fellers over at Washoe Diggings, Mr. Comstock, that they're just wasting their time. There ain't enough gold over there to fool with.
Hey, you think they'd listen to us? I don't know what there is about a gold miner. I think they must be 3/4 loco and the other 4 stupid.
You said they found gold?
What I said was that they didn't hardly find enough to fool with.
Yeah, they pan all day, come up with just about enough to buy themselves a bottle of whiskey.
Now, if you were a whiskey merchant, Mr. Comstock, you should do rather well down at Washoe.
Washoe? That's the name of the place, huh? Washoe.
That's what they call it. 20 miles due east of the Ponderosa. Where are you going, Mr. Comstock?
Dinner was fine, gentlemen. I hate to rush, but duty calls.
Duty? What kind of duty?
Those miners at Washoe. They're just waiting to buy and sell. Farewell, gentlemen.
The fool. The gold-crazed fool.
Paul. Maybe I ought to follow him. Those fellas from California might still be after him and be trying to kill him.
Probably for good cause, Hoss. Now, I thought you worried about 4-legged animals.
Well, I reckon he's sort of like a 4-legged animal himself. You might say like a jackass.
Hey, can I go too, Pa? Every Saturday night there's a dance on a Dutch piece at the Diggings.
A dance? Or do they have any women to dance with?
Yeah, they got 2 or 3. They're pretty big. So some gals that do the miners' washing.
You ought to see them, Paul. They're big and raw bones as Texas steers, but they can dance.
Well, Western Utah's grown up. All right, Hoss, you go after our friend the fool, and little Joe, you go off the Dutch Beats to your dance. Adam, what about you? What do you want?
Hey, come on with us, Adam.
No, I don't want anything, Pa. I got work to do. But, little Joe, I might just drop by and take a look at one of those big raw-bone women.
Hey, why don't you do that, Adam? As a matter of fact, I'll save one for you. The biggest and rawest of the bunch.
Yes, I bet you will.
Boy, I sure would like to surprise him with a pretty little gal.
There ain't no pretty gals in 100 miles here, little Joe.
Hey, but I'm just thinking about one. Just one.
Paul, you sure his ma wasn't part jackrabbit?
Hoss, his ma was all woman. So was Adam's. So was yours. They left me sons, boy. They left me sons.
Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. Which one do you think he is, Hoss?
I reckon he's most likely been nearly all of them at one time or another, little Joe.
Still think those fellas from California might be after him?
I don't know. But if they are, he's gonna need some mighty fast help.
Yeah, maybe so. But I got a real strange feeling that old crowbait can take care of just about anything comes along.
Dolly. Ah, yeah. Eat hearty.
I guess the good Lord watches over fools and little children.
Well, just in case the good Lord forgets for a minute, I think I better trail along after him and keep an eye peeled for trouble. I'll see you at the Diggings tonight. You be sure and save me some of that tarantula juice, you hear?
Now, when I get to the Diggings, I ain't gonna have time for any tarantula juice.
You stay out of that Paiute country. You remember what Paul said about stirring them up?
Hoss, what the heck would I want with any old Paiute?
hurt yourself?
Nothing up at my boy, nothing at all. We Comstocks are made of steel. Yes, I can remember Grandpappy at the ripe age of 93. Chewing iron bars and spitting out nails.
Yeah, I reckon you're all right at that. On the way you fell back there, I could have sworn you broke something.
Son, you're looking at a man who did break something. His link with the past. How long has all this been going on?
Well, feller's been fooling around these mountains for years. Digging up one side and then down the other. Fighting that blue stuff over there, they call it.
Blue stuff? Never heard of it. What's that?
Well, I don't reckon anybody rightly knows. Something that gums up something fierce. Makes it hard to get at the gold.
Gold. Yeah, the gold. Like the sound of that word, son. It's like music to my ears. Yes, sir. From now on, I intend to confine all my valuable time to the Comstock load.
The Comstock load? What's that?
Everything that meets the eye, son. Everything that meets the eye.
You just got here. How can you even think about naming all this after yourself when you only just got here?
Son, that just goes to show you how wrong a man can be. Because I got the feeling that I've been here practically all of my life. Greetings, gentlemen. Henry T.P. Comstock brings you greetings and salutations. Did you gentlemen file a legal claim for this particular piece of land?
Legal claim? Now, what kind of a question is that?
Simple enough question, friend. You didn't file a claim, you're trespassing on my property. I'm requesting you to move on.
Oh, Mr. Comstock, you can't do a thing like that. You only just got here.
Son, the law's the law. The law says if a man don't file a claim, he ain't got any more right than a tinker.
Now, you wait a minute. You just wait a minute. We filed a claim more than a month ago. Up at Dutch Pete's we did it.
Dutch Pete's? Sounds like a purveyor of the old evil eye. Now, if you file this claim in a legal like courthouse...
Dutch Pete's legal like courthouse is good enough for us, mister. And give me back that pan. Blue stuff. Work and shake all day. You got nothing to show for it but this damn blue stuff.
Is this a private conversation, friend, or could you use a little company?
Where'd you come from?
I'll ask the questions, friend. How big a claim you got here?
Clear to the head of the mountain. And all of it ain't worth it.
Don't say it. Think it, but don't say it. Quite a good sized claim. How much gold?
Gold? Say gold? I tell you, mister, there ain't nothing around here but this dang blue stuff.
Loud. How'd you like to have yourself a partner?
Partner? In what?
Your claim, friend. Clear to the top of the mountain. Tell you what I'll do. I'll give you $17 American.
$17? But I tell you, mister, all this dang blue stuff ain't worth a nickel.
$17, my good man. It's my final offer.
Well, I'll take it, mister. Mister, you just bought yourself into half of this claim. $17, huh? Wait till I tell this to the boys at Dutch Pete's tonight.
Partner, there's something else you're going to do at Dutch Pete's tonight, too. Now, at properly arranged time. I want you to break... You following me, friend?
You brave man. You ride into Paiute village alone.
Chief Winnemucca, I believe you know my father, Ben Cartwright.
I know, Father.
I think you know me, too, and my brothers, Horace and Adam. Matter of fact, Chief, didn't you trade Pa this pinto pony for a buffalo gun?
You from high up on mountain. Why you come here?
Well, I brought you a little present, Chief. Pretty nice color, would you say?
You bring this for me?
Well, not exactly. It's for your daughter.
When you see Saratucci?
It was just a little while back down at the river. She's taking a bath. And now, hold it, Chief. She's more than a mile away. Just one of many women.
The knife. Other women, much big, plenty fat?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know, Chief. I didn't look at the other women. And what about this material? Got it from a peddler across the mountains from Sacramento. Said it was genuine silk.
Not very strong, not much good.
Yeah, well, Chief, it's for a dress, not a horse blanket.
Saratucci!
Now you look like a real princess, ma'am. What do you think, Chief? Sure fine tasting meat, Chief. What is it?
Rattlesnake.
It's really very good.
We have a lot. You eat more.
Well, no thanks, Chief. I'm not a very big eater. How about showing me that Appaloosa horse you were trying to sell me?
I bring horse. You eat more. Very good.
Yeah, sure, Chief. Oh, please, no thank you, ma'am. I'm not a very big eater. Hey, you know how to make this into a dress? Into a dress? Yeah, look. See? Yeah, well, see what I mean here? Now, yeah, well, look, now, it doesn't look too good on me. Look, you try it. Sort of, yeah, you do it. That's it. That's... Yeah. Yeah, you're getting the idea, Princess. Yeah, that looks nice. Hey, now, listen, there's a dance down at the Washoe Diggings. A dance? You don't know dance? Look, a dance. Dance, da-da, dance, dance. There, you know? You like to dance? Yeah, well, good, so do I. Now, listen, don't tell Chiefy, all right? Yeah, good, because he'd scalp me if he knew what I had in mind. Now, you meet me where the river meets the meadow. Just beyond the waterfall. Then, Princess, you and I are gonna have ourselves a dance. Yeah. Yeah, Chief, that's what I call a horse.
Young way round here, don't walk on me on your toes. All the way back, swing that gal, everybody swing. Now combination, I could take and walk you, what to do. Now ladies consider, come a little bit, like you. And the ladies go right, get to the left.
Oh, howling snakes and ring-tailed screamers. That's what I call a real hunk of woman.
Hey, come on, Joe Brown to the party.
Innkeeper, bring me one of those. Never mind.
Young fella, I come from Virginia, which, as you can no doubt hear, is a pretty well-known fact hereabouts.
You drunken coach! You don't even know where Virginia is!
The Old Dominion, sir, the fairest of all the 35 states. Land where I was born, sir. Born and bred.
And been soaking up to your teeth in corn liquor ever since.
I know you're from Virginia.
The Old Dominion, sir, the fairest
You
place
wouldn't say that, friend. You ever seen the sunset on Lake Tomahawker? Oh, that's the prettiest lake. Where'd you get the girl, son?
The girl?
Hey, she's a real looker.
Oh, Princess Sarah. Gentlemen. Gentlemen and ladies, I'd like to present to you the Princess Saratucci, Princess Sarah for short, daughter of Chief Winnemucca, of our friendly neighbors, the Paiutes.
Sir? Do I understand you to mean you were reckless enough to take this Paiute gal away from her kinfolk and bring her here?
Excuse me, I just remembered I ordered a drink. Paiute's a silly young fool. Innkeeper, give me a... No, never mind.
Remember what Paul said about him stirring up them Paiutes?
Little brother, what you mean about stirring up the Paiutes, and what I mean about stirring up the Paiutes, is two entirely different stirring ups. Princess, may I have the next dance? Pardon me, ma'am.
Hi, everybody. Grab your partner. We're gonna do the Virginia Reel.
Now forward again, left elbow swing all the way back, place again. Forward,
in the bed, friend. Chicken up dough. And a do-she-do.
See what I mean, little dough? Fat and ugly as a skunk.
Hey, Comstock's right. See the look here, boy. Because I prefer them wider in the shoulder and broader in the beam.
Comstock, you like a dance?
Dance? Yeah. Oh, dance, yes. I'll tell you, Hoss, I hurt my leg in the war at Lake Montefego.
Well, how about one with me?
Yeah, oh, with you? Oh, well, that's different. Excuse us.
Yeah, let it go, Hoss.
Son, I'll trade you Jenny here and throw in 5 ounces of gold dust. Anytime you want to switch partners.
Princess, you sure are beautiful. No, you really are. I don't know if this has ever happened to you before, man, but you're so darn pretty.
You take Saratucci away.
Well, I didn't exactly take her away, Chief. I just asked her to go to a dance with me.
What you do? You call this dance?
I guess I did get a little carried away, Chief, but she's a mighty pretty girl.
She Paiute girl. She marry him. Lean knife.
Ah, congratulations, friend. Haven't been to a wedding for a long time. You know, I had an uncle once, Uncle Jonah. Not the one that got himself swallowed by the whale. No, sir, he's a different fellow entirely. He's my mother's brother. One that never did a day's lick of work in his life. Did manage to get himself married, though. 7 different times.
Mr. Comstock.
Yeah?
I think you've done enough talking for one night.
Well, I ain't had a chance to kiss the bride yet.
My sons seek no trouble with the Paiutes, Chief Winnemucca. That one is young, foolish. He will be punished if he's done anything wrong. But he will be punished by me, not by anyone else.
He is your son.
Yes, Chief. And she is your daughter. Take her home.
You know, the thing I like about you younger brothers, you don't care how big a mess you get yourself into as long as someone else gets you out of it.
Yeah, well, you know something, older brother? I just knew you'd be here in time.
Just in time to march you back home.
Now, wait a minute, Paul. We can't go yet. Adam here ain't even had a dance. Now, where'd that old big fat gal go to?
Oh. Why, you horse-faced, spindle-legged old sidewinder, I said I was the one buying the lady a drink.
Next time I want a bath, friend, I'll arrange to have you talk at me. Innkeeper, pour this young lady a shot.
Don't you touch that, ma'am. That stuff will poison you. Bartender, pour the little lady a drink of your best whiskey, the kind that we drink down in Virginia.
My dear young lady, I've traveled the 4 corners of the earth, sailed the 7 seas. I'm here to tell you the swill they drink in Virginia will rot a skunk's gut.
Ma'am, what I like about you, you sure drink whiskey like a lady. Adam, I know she's a little bit on the heavy side, but every bit of her sure can dance. Fiddler, this is Saturday night. Let's have a little music.
I'm rich, boys, I'm rich. You know what that means? I'm rich, I'm rich. Cut it in, Pike. I'm rich, boys, I'm rich.
Cut it in, Pike.
There's a whole legend. A ledge 50 foot wide, a solid ledge of gold.
There's a bonanza.
Where, Pike? Where?
Pike, we're your friends and we tell you where it is.
Up 6 Mile Canyon, head of the mountain, you dang fool. Where you think?
Listen to me, man. Listen to me. Thank you.
Well, hurry up. What's on your mind?
Just this. I hate to break your hearts, but all that gold out there, all that big strike, that's all on my land. Every bit of it's on my land.
Your land?
Yeah.
When did you stake a claim to it?
This afternoon, friend. Ask my partner there, Mr. Pike. We're gonna call it the Comstock Lode.
Is that true, Pike? You sell this old horse thief part of your claim?
Now, wait a minute. Show you what kind of a guy Henry T.P. Comstock is. I'm gonna cut each and every one of you in on a fabulous Comstock load for $100 a piece American. Cash on the barrelhead. It's all right, friend, it's all right.
But it's gold. I really found gold.
Here, friend, we'll talk about it later.
It's gold, can't you see? It's gold.
Pike, it is gold. It's really gold.
It's the richest I've ever seen it here. I just given it away.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Anybody want his money back? I'll give anyone double the money. Just say the word.
You want it all for yourself, you old money grabber. Now we want to be rich, too. Now, you hear? Now, you get out of the way.
Follow me, man. I'll show you where the richest part is.
Don't forget the best friend and partner you ever had.
Yeah.
Let me pack. Wait for you.
Yeah, I'll wait for all the Jimmy.
Just so it won't be a total loss, I hereby baptize this place Virginia!
That's not the way to do it, boys.
Oh, shut up, you old
No, this is going to be a great place someday. Fortunes will be made here. We'll make fortunes so great we're going to need help counting the money. So it ought to have a fitting name. Shouldn't just call it Virginia. We ought to call it, Virginia City.
Hey, look who just showed up.
Did you hear him? They found gold.
Yeah, I hear him.
Those are guys after Mr. Comstock.
They're not even thinking of Henry Comstock now. They're thinking of only one thing: gold. Now, there it is, boys. What gold will do to men.
You don't even feel like going with him.
So do I, Little Joe. It's funny what gold do to a man, ain't it?
I saw what it did to John Sutter's dream in the Valley of Sacramento. Let's go. Well, there you have it. The story of Henry T.P. Comstock.
He sure fooled everybody here, didn't he?
Yeah, He did. But I guess most of all, he fooled himself. That claim he jumped. You know, they've taken millions of dollars worth of pure silver out of there. And would you believe it? Old Henry sold that claim for, what, $11,000.
Hearing that, I don't feel so bad about that worthless piece of paper there.
Worthless? Well, I wouldn't say it's exactly worthless. So you paid $25 hard money for it. What do you say, boys? Don't you think it'd be worth $25 to have a memento of our dear departed friend?
You know, I bet that old crow bait's still jumping claims.
Here you are, old-timer. $25 and a little more.
Well, thank you kindly.
Let's go, boys.
Take it easy, old-timer.
Yeah.
We'll see you, old-timer.
Yeah.
Todd McCarran. Wonder what he's up to now.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's ask him. Let's go.
Why the surveying, Todd?
Any law against surveying my own property line?
Never any doubt in our mind about its location?
Well, maybe there will be in the mind of the new owner.
You mean your father's selling out?
Not my father, me. To Len Keith.
Len Keith? I thought he only bought mining property.
That's what he thinks this could be.
Todd, we have a water rights agreement with your father on the use of this stream. If Keith uses it for mining, it'll poison out some of our best bottom land.
Seems that's your worry, Ben, not mine.
Now, just a minute.
Let go. You Cartwrights have shoved us around for the last 20 years.
You're a liar.
Wait a minute. There are ways to settle this.
As I see it, it's already been settled. You two been? Old Hop Sing had a real good meal fixed for you.
And you decided not to let it go to waste and ate it all, huh?
How'd you know that?
What are you doing reading a book?
The care and training of dogs.
Oh, a little stray pup wandered in here, and I've been trying to figure out how to take care of it.
I thought you were an expert on things like that.
Oh, Paul, there's so dang many new scientific ideas that natural know-how just ain't no good no more.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you can say that about Todd McCarran, too. I thought I knew him pretty well.
Why? What's the matter with Todd?
Oh, I don't know. Growing pains, likely. Where's that pouch of Virginia tobacco I got?
Don't look at me. I didn't smoke it.
I thought you were saving this tobacco for Andy McCarran's birthday.
Well, I was, but no reason a man can't have a birthday a few days early. I'm going to ride over to Andy and have a talk with him about Todd.
Oh, wish Mr. McCarran a happy birthday for me, too, will you?
I will.
Who is it?
It's Ben, Andy.
Oh, come on in, Ben. The door's not locked. Doggone, it's good to see you.
Oh, doggone, good to see you too, Andy.
It's been a long time.
It has that. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm practically stuck to this chair, but what's the difference? Good to see you.
Brought you some of that good southern tobacco. Take the bite out of your pipe.
Thanks, Ben. Hey, smells good.
This fire of yours feels good. Ran into Todd today.
Yeah? I turned the running of things over to him. I had to face up to it. I'm just not up to handling things anymore.
Todd was saying you're thinking some of selling out.
You know how kids are. Always trying to get ahead fast, but I figure when it comes to selling, he'll want to stay on this land as much as I do.
Well, I hope you're right, Andy. I guess I got a little upset when he told me he was thinking of selling out to Len Keith.
Well, I'd be surprised if he mentioned any other name. He's so sweet on Len Keith's daughter that, well, he doesn't know his own name half the time.
Oh, she's a fine girl. Todd seemed pretty determined to sell.
That he is. Ben, you have boys your own. A man's got to let his son grow up, even if he doesn't always agree with him.
Oh, you're right there. I was just thinking that if Keith ever did start mining operations on your property, it would foul up the water in that stream to where it would poison half the cattle on my range.
Oh, it won't come to that, Ben. I've got cattle of my own using that stream.
Well, we're getting older, Andy.
We are that.
I remember when you brought your family here. I figured that plan to share the water in that stream would outlast both our lifetimes.
It's the truth, so did I.
Well, I see you didn't waste any time, Mr. Cartwright.
Todd, is that a way to behave?
I don't like people talking behind my back.
Ben came here to talk, not fight. It won't hurt you to listen.
What for? I know what he's going to say. We're just one big happy family as long as he's the boss and we do what we're told. You've been listening to that all of your life, Pa.
Todd, I've never known your father to back away from me or any other man, long as I've known him.
What's he doing? Talking over old times so that you won't forget the little things you might owe him, so you'll feel ashamed to let me sell out?
Todd!
He's been doing that to some of the others around here, only they haven't had the belly to stand up to him.
That's enough. Ben Cartwright's the best friend we ever had, and you know it.
He's no friend of ours.
You apologize.
Andy, never mind.
No, Ben. This is still my house, and I won't have it shamed.
Your house, your land. This wonderful land that killed Ma before her time and crippled you so you can hardly walk. All right, keep it. Love it. Run on it for all I care.
I'm afraid I'll have to apologize to you myself, Ben.
I figured that if I come by, might help. Guess it hurt more. Andy, now, we don't have too much ready cash in the Ponderosa this time of year, what with it being tied up in the herd and all, but, well, if it's selling out that Todd is so concerned about...
Ben, you know how Todd would feel about any offer coming from you.
I suppose he'd just think I'd been waiting for the opportunity to buy you out. Pretty sad thing when two old friends can't discuss business without their motives being questioned.
It's much deeper than that, Ben. Len Keith has no intention of using this land for ranching. He's offered Todd a partnership. He's got the boy all fired up with ideas of becoming another silver baron.
Andy, do you believe deep down in your heart that there's any chance of silver on this land?
No, Ben, no more than you do.
No.
But Ben Keith is a mining man, and he thinks there may be silver, and he's got the boy thinking it, too.
Doesn't Todd realize that Keith is just speculating? That's what he always does. Buys up as much land as he can possibly get hold of in the hopes that some of it will pay off. Ruins the land.
He's ruined much more than land, Ben. He's ruined many men with him on his way up. And this time, it could be my son.
Wouldn't want that to happen, Andy, any more than you do.
Thank you, Ben.
I didn't expect you till this evening.
I have to see your father.
Is something wrong?
Yes.
Hello, Todd. How's my future son-in-law?
Disgusted, if you want to know the truth.
Oh, well, come on in and tell me about it. Maybe I can help you. What is it?
Mr. Keefe, I can't sell out to you.
Oh, why not? Does your father feel that I didn't offer you enough for the property?
Oh, it's not that. He made a water rights agreement with Ben Cartwright 20 years ago.
I see. The Cartwrights, eh? What's the matter with them? They feel that we're going to muddy up their pretty little stream?
It's getting to be you can't make a move in this country without Ben Cartwright's permission.
Well, I suppose you can't blame a man for looking out after his own interests.
What about my interests? Mine and Virginia's. Where are we going to get the money to get married?
Todd, you know money isn't important to me as long as we're together.
My mother felt that way. She died when she was 26 years old, helping my father try to make something of this land.
Todd, I can always find a job for you in one of my mining companies.
A man has to make it on his own, Mr. Keefe. You ought to know that. It's what you did, isn't it?
I certainly did. That's the way I like to hear you talk. Now, don't worry about it. I'm sure we can get your father to see it our way.
Not if Ben Cartwright's doing his thinking for him, we won't.
But the Cartwrights have always seemed like reasonable people to me.
You just know them in a social way, Virginia. You've never dealt with them on a business level.
Don't worry. I'm not going to let Ben Cartwright stand in the way of the happiness of my two children.
Here, Shorty. Come on, boy. Here, Shorty. Come on, boy. Come on, puppy. Come on, Shorty. Come on, you pup. Nice puppy. Come on, puppy. Come on, puppy. Come on here, Shorty. I'm going to give you a bath. Get over there in that tub. Come here to me. Get a bath whether you want it or not. Come on here, pup. Come here to me. Come here, pup. Here, Shorty. Come on. Nice puppy. Nice puppy. Come on, Shorty. If you ain't the beatin'est dang dog I ever seen. All morning I've been trying to catch you just to put you in that bucket. Poor little old outfit, don't you know this is for your own good? You loaded down with them dang kicks, and I'm just trying to get them off of you, that's all. Poor little outfit, you.
Hi, brother. Are you still playing nursemaid to that little dog you found?
Well, I can't hardly help it none, Kenneth. This poor little critter hangs around. You smell something?
Oh, it's me. Yeah, I was setting some traps for the wolves that were bothering the cattle. Caught a skunk in one of them.
You sure did. Look here, when I get through with old Shorty here, why don't you jump in?
It's gonna take a lot more than soap and water to get me clean.
Well, this here ain't ordinary soap. This here soap's got sulfur in it. I was over at Baker's Flat the other day talking to that storekeeper, telling him about old Shorty's wood ticks, and he told me that stuff would take anything off.
Huh?
Yeah.
It'll probably take my skin off, too.
Hi, Pa. You talked to Andy?
Yeah. Oh, Andy is going to honor that water agreement we have with him just as I thought he would. I just can't figure out what got into Todd.
I can't either. Seems like he just doesn't want to get along with anybody.
Yeah.
But you two know what's wrong with Todd. He's in love.
Well, I wish it were that simple. Anybody smell skunk?
Oh, that's me, Pa. I caught a skunk in one of the wolf traps.
Well, if you're going to go to that social with us tonight, I think you better start getting cleaned up now.
Yeah.
Oh, you think somebody will mind?
Yeah. Listen, Adam, if Todd is at that social, and I think he will be, try to have a talk with him, as a friend.
Shorty, I know you ain't gonna never believe this, but this here is real good for you. Hey, now. Looks have anything to do with it. We sure gonna have us a time tonight, ain't we?
Yeah, but you just remember what I told you. You stand on your own feet, not the ladies.
Oh, you're a good one to be giving advice about the ladies. Went with Jenya Keith for 3 years, and now old Todd's marrying her.
Well, I guess I just never got around to asking her.
He sure is a slow worker, ain't he, Paul? 3 years.
You through with that brush? Expecting somebody?
No. Oh, hi.
Boss? Hello, Ben.
Len?
Not interrupting anything, am I?
No, not at all. Just getting ready to go to the dance.
I'm taking Virginia in later myself. Wonder if I could have a private little talk with you.
Yeah, let's go get the horses ready.
Well, sit down, Len.
Thanks.
Oh, what's on your mind?
Well, Todd McCarran came to see me, and he's all upset about what happened between him and his father.
Well, I was a little upset myself.
I'm very fond of Todd. He's got a lot of character. He's extremely ambitious.
Len, sometimes ambition can drive a young man in the wrong direction.
But I don't think that's true in Todd's case. I consider him practically a member of the family. I'd be pretty careful of whatever opportunities I put in his way. Matter of fact, I wanted you to help me. In spite of what's happened, Todd's got a great deal of respect for your opinion.
Well, perhaps that used to be so.
Well, of course, he's a little high-strung, but you and I can understand that. We were young once, too. We saw what we wanted in life, and we went out and we took it. Now, nowadays, a young fella needs help to get started. I'm doing what I can for Todd. I thought you'd want to help, too.
That was a very nice speech, Keith. Now, what did you really come to see me about?
Well, I don't want anything for myself. I'm only here to help Todd. But old Andy McCarran does pretty much what you ask him to, now doesn't he?
Now, hold on. Andy McCarran has a mind of his own, and he's very capable of using it.
Yes, but you've got to make him understand something. By holding on to that land, he's jeopardizing his son's future.
Your interest and concern with Todd's future is most commendable. I've watched you over a period of years, Len. Making quite a lot of money. And ruin quite a bit of land. And quite a few people in the process. I'm not going to help you ruin Todd McCarran.
I always try reasoning first, Ben. If that doesn't work, I guess I can find some other way.
What?
Little Joe, you sure do smell better than you did this afternoon.
Well, thanks a lot. If you gentlemen will excuse me.
Oh, yes. Of course.
Hey, boy, I'm gonna see if I can't rustle me up one of them little fellas.
Have you had a chance to talk to Todd yet?
No. He's danced every dance with Virginia.
Excuse me, Adam. I think I've just found my filly.
Oh, Todd, you danced my feet off.
Well, I wouldn't want to do that. I can't spare any of you.
Oh.
How about some more punch?
I'd love it. Adam, you're not dancing.
I'm having too much fun watching you two. You look very beautiful tonight, Virginia.
But thank you.
I'm glad you approve of my future wife.
Ah, you're lucky you proposed to her when you did. When are you two getting married?
When your father decides to let me run my own business.
Todd, that was a rather unpleasant thing to say.
Well, no, he didn't mean anything by it.
Didn't I?
Todd, let's dance.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Don't turn your back on me, Cartwright.
Now, look, if you're set on starting a fight, this isn't the place for it.
Oh, I think it is.
Todd! Dad, Mr. Cartwright, stop. They're fighting.
All right, you two. That's enough.
Todd, we don't want to fight you, boy.
And stay away from me, all of you.
Dad, take me home.
All right, Virginia.
Come on, forget it, Adam. Well, let's have a little music.
Dad, I shouldn't have walked out on Todd like that. I ought to go back.
Well, this isn't the time, Virginia. My advice is to just let him calm down a little.
Dad, sometimes I wonder if your advice for Todd and me is really any good.
Virginia, what have I ever told you that hasn't worked out for you?
I'm not talking about something you can put your finger on. I'm talking about the way Todd has changed. The way he looks at me, the way he acts.
Well, of course he's changed. And all for the good. He's turning into the kind of a man I'd be proud to have as a son-in-law.
Would I be proud to have him for a husband?
Oh, Virginia, if I've done anything at all to hurt you, believe...
I'm glad you're still here. I'd like to apologize.
It wasn't your fault, Adam.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way.
I don't think there's anything to gain by discussing it any further. Let's go on home.
Dad, I'd like to talk to Adam.
Not tonight, honey.
Excuse me, Mr. Keith. I got to talk to you.
Well, can't it wait till morning?
No, sir, it can't.
Well, go on in, honey. I'll be right in. What is it, Tucker?
It's about the cattle you just bought. Sun's come up. You better handle it.
That's enough, Roy.
After what he done, he could have poisoned half the men in your mine with them diseased cows.
Where's the beef now?
I put him up in the North Corral. I figure tomorrow I'll have him killed and buried. Him along with him if I had my way.
Take him outside, Roy. And Roy, not a word about this to anybody. I suppose he claimed he didn't know the cattle were sick.
Well, what do you think? He probably rustled them 20 head to begin with.
All of them diseased, huh?
Well, you can't have one cow with Texas fever without them all getting it. They're crawling with ticks.
In other words, you put those sick cattle in with a healthy herd.
It spreads like wildfire.
I see. Tucker, I want you to ride that man out of town tonight and make sure that he never comes back.
Hey, sure. Mr. Keith, there's only one way I know of to make sure.
I'll leave that up to you. And Tucker, don't kill off any of those sick cattle until I tell you to.
Well, what can you do with sick cow?
Well, I thought I might get big-hearted and make a present of a couple of them to Ben Cartwright.
Well, you know what Cartwright would do if he ever caught us at it.
Well, don't let him catch you.
Them's big stakes, Mr. Keith.
Yeah, the biggest. Cartwright's always had everything his way. Let's see how he acts when he finds cattle being added to his herd instead of rustled away, huh?
Well, I know he took the first swing at you, but I don't know if that's the way to handle Todd. I've watched both of you grow up, and I have just as much confidence in him as I have in you.
No, you have, but I don't have Glenn Keith telling me what to do.
No. Virginia's Keith's only daughter. I Suppose you can't blame him for looking after her interests.
Look, Len Keith never made a move in his life that didn't benefit Len Keith first. And I'll tell you something else. It isn't just a little piece of land he's after.
He's an ambitious man. There's no question about that. The way he's extending his mining interests, it looks as if he wants to take over the whole Carson Valley.
Including the Ponderosa.
Now, Adam, you and I both know that the Ponderosa is one piece of land he'll never get.
Dead, boy. Looks like Texas fever.
Texas fever?
Yes, sir.
Well, we bought Texas cattle before. They've always been clean. You check the other stock?
A few more heads showed signs of sickness. We cut them out of the herd. Probably have to destroy them.
Well, there's no probably about it. That tick fever plague could kill every head. Not only in our range, it'd kill every herd in the territory.
Poor critters, they don't even know what ails them. Get out of here. Get out of here. Dang fool dog will have them ticks all over him.
Boss, you remember that sulfur soap you used to wash down that dog?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm thinking that if that sulfur soap could wash the ticks off a dog, why not off cattle?
We can't scrub down every steer.
No, but we can dig a pit between the two corrals. Put in some water and a lot of sulfur like a bath. Run the herd through one at a time.
Well, that'd take a powerful lot of sulfur.
Well?
I reckon I ought to have it up at Baker's Flat. You want me to ride up there and see?
Yeah, you take the buckboard and haul as much as you can carry. Joe, you better get back to the herd. Have the men cut out every head that even looks sick.
Right, Pa.
Adam, you and me better get started digging those pits.
They're up to something.
Nothing they can do but start killing cows.
Well, maybe. We better stick with them and make sure.
Virginia, you shouldn't be in here.
Neither should you. Todd, I've looked all over town for you.
Everybody's staring at you. Come on.
Todd, what's happened to us? Just isn't like you, that fight with Adam and...
What are you doing? Taking sides with the Cartwrights like everybody else in this country?
Sides? What sides, Todd?
Don't you see what they're doing to us? Your father made me a good offer on that land. 3 times as much as it was worth.
Well, if I knew it was going to mean this much trouble, I'm sorry he did.
That's easy to say, but it's not so easy to live with. Virginia, I want to amount to something. I want you to be proud of me, the way you are of your father.
Todd, I'm proud of the man I fell in love with. A ranching man trying to build something for the future. His and mine. Now, if he starts hitting people and getting drunk the first time things don't go his way, well, I'll still love him because I can't help myself. But I won't be proud of him for it.
I've had enough speeches, Virginia. Please go on, honey. I'll see you after a while.
It's wonderful to see you, Virginia. Now that you're practically a part of the family, I never get to see you anymore.
Well, I've been meaning to get out to see you for a long time.
Oh, I know how it is, planning the wedding and everything. You know, it means a lot to me, having you for a daughter. Virginia, you and Todd having trouble?
Yes, we are, Mr. McCarran, and I just don't know how to handle it.
Now, you know that all lovers have their little quarrels.
That's just the trouble. It isn't just a lover's quarrel. It's something that involves you and my father and a lot of things I just don't understand.
Oh, so that's it. It's about Todd selling this place, isn't it?
Why shouldn't he sell it? Why should such a simple little business transaction stir up so much trouble?
It isn't a simple thing, Virginia. It involves 2 different ways of looking at life.
It involves the Cartwrights, too, doesn't it?
Well, that's not the point I want to make. I'm talking about the land and a man's attitude towards it. Now, is this something to be torn up and cast aside? Or is it a place for the future? I mean, a home for you and Todd and the children.
I told Todd that's all I wanted. I wish my father could see it the way you do. But he never will.
It's Todd that we must both be concerned about. Now we must have faith in him and believe that he will do the right thing.
You're right. And I do have faith in Todd.
He's coming.
Did he see you?
I circled around. He's got that buckboard loaded down with bags of sulfur powder.
What for?
Don't know. I asked the storekeeper at Baker Flat. He said that Cartwright fella talked about washing his cows down with sulfur water.
I don't know what good that'd do. But we better see to it that it don't happen anyway. You stay here. Get your rifle and keep down out of sight.
Boss, you all right?
Yeah. I reckon I am now. Thanks to you coming along.
Hey, come on up, give me a hand.
Guys round up some strays and I heard the shots. Figured I'd better check on it.
Looks to me like I've seen that fella before, have you?
Yeah, I think he works for one of the mining camps. We better get that sulfur in. There's 2 more cows flopped over dead. And they're not from the Ponderosa.
Them sick cows ain't ours?
No, looks like it's not. It's gonna be a lot of sick ones from our place, though. Let's get him in.
I'll get his horse. I tell you, Roy's dead.
Did they see you?
Well, yeah, but they couldn't recognize me.
I can't take any chances. You saddle up my horse and get back to the bunkhouse and stay there. Keep out of sight.
Dad? Supper's getting cold.
Well, I'm sorry, honey. Something's come up. I've got to go into town.
But, Dad... Do you have to go right now?
I've got to. It's important. I just heard that a plague of Texas fever has hit the cattle around here. I've got to warn Todd and the other ranchers. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
Are you drunk?
Virginia sent you...
No, she didn't, but something pretty important came up. I thought you ought to know about it.
You want a drink?
No, now listen to me, will you? I just heard that the plague's infected every head of beef on the Ponderosa.
Plague?
Texas fever. Cartwrights are working right now to try to save every head they can before anybody finds out about it.
Texas fever. How did it get started?
Well, who's the only outfit around here who trails in Texas cattle?
The Cartwrights.
That's just what I figured. Something like this could be pretty dangerous, couldn't it?
It could kill every head of cattle in Carson Valley.
Is there any way of stopping it?
One way. Kill the sick stock.
There's no other way of protecting ourselves?
None that I know of.
Unless we kill off all the Cartwrights' cattle.
Oh, they never stand still for that.
No, I guess not. They showed that pretty plain.
What do you mean?
Well, a couple of my boys went up there yesterday. See how bad it was and try to help them out. And the Cartwright shot one of them down.
Shot him? Why?
Well, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? They're trying to keep word of the plague from spreading.
Does the sheriff know about the shooting?
The sheriff? What good would that do? He's afraid of the Cartwrights just like everybody else around here is.
Yeah. Well, not me. I'm not going to stand by and watch my cattle die like flies.
Just don't do anything foolish. You can't stand up to the Cartwrights all alone.
I won't have to, not this time. No cattleman's going to stand by and watch his herds die off. Cartwright or no Cartwright.
Well, if enough of the other ranchers went in with you to stand up again...
They'll go in. I'll see to that.
I've been waiting for you. I've been wanting to talk to you.
Well, I'm in a hurry.
I'm sorry I hit you. There was no call for it.
It doesn't make any difference.
But it does make a difference. I want to talk to you.
Well, later.
What are you doing?
We got trouble.
What kind of trouble?
I can handle it.
Don't turn your back on me. Tell me about it.
Oh, I haven't got time. I've got work to do.
Does it involve the Cartwrights?
Doesn't everything in this country involve the Cartwrights one way or another?
I have a right to know what it's all about.
There's tick fever on the Ponderosa. I've got to get to the other ranches and warn them so we can stop it from spreading to our stock.
Tick fever? How did it get started?
It must have come in on one of the herds the Cartwrights brought up from Texas.
Did you talk to Ben Cartwright?
One of Len Keith's men tried to. They shot him down.
I don't believe it.
I didn't expect you to.
Todd, you're declaring war.
Ben Cartwright did that when he brought in that sick herd.
I'm not going to let you do it.
Pa, I've got to.
This is that bushwhacker's horse we brought back. Take a close look at him.
Got ticks all over him. This horse was with tick-infested beef before he got here.
And that dead man could have told us how this plague got here.
You find out who he was?
Well, he had a letter on him addressed to a Roy Wilkins.
Yeah, don't forget there was another man with him.
Adam, maybe you'd better get to Virginia City. See if you can track this other man down. If you can, bring him out here. Us? Clean him up, huh? Come on, let's get back.
Yeah.
All right, Frank. Send him through again. That's time through, boy. Hello!
Hello, Adam.
Give me a whiskey, Cosmo.
Yes.
Deal me out. Wait. I'll give you a chance to get even later.
Something on your mind?
You know a man named Roy Wilkins?
Roy Wilkins. Sure, I've seen him in here.
Who does he work for?
I don't know. Hasn't been around here very long. As a matter of fact, the only times I've ever seen him, he's always been with a fellow named Tucker.
Tucker?
Works for Len Keith.
Len Keith. Thanks.
Adam, I thought it was my father.
Evening, Jenny. Isn't he here?
Well, no, he's in town.
Listen, you know a man named Roy Wilkins?
Wilkins. There's a man named Roy I know. He's a friend of Tucker's.
Who's Tucker?
Well, he's Pa's foreman. He lives in that shack on the other side of the storeroom. Adam, what is it?
Well, this Roy Wilkins and one other man, maybe Tucker, I'm not sure, tried to kill my brother this afternoon.
That's impossible. Those men work for my father.
Excuse me. Hello, Tucker.
You're one of them Cartwrights, ain't you?
That's right. You know a man named Roy Wilkins?
What do you want here, Cartwright?
I want the man who was with Wilkins when they tried to ambush my brother.
I don't know anything about it.
Then you wouldn't mind coming back to town with me and telling that to the sheriff, huh?
No. I wouldn't mind.
I thought you missed him.
Dad. Adam, is he?
Yeah, he's dead. I wanted him alive. I was hoping you could tell me something.
Tell you what, Adam?
You think fast, Mr. Keith. Just like you shot fast a while ago. But when this plague trouble is settled, we're going to have a talk.
I wish you hadn't seen this, Virginia.
I'm sorry I had to see as much as I did.
I had to protect Adam. Tucker would have killed him.
Tucker had already dropped his gun. You killed him deliberately.
Oh, you're all upset. Now go on into the house.
You can't send me away like a little girl, Dad.
Don't try to understand it, you hear me? Now go on back into the house.
I'm right, and you all know it. If it was one of us had a sick herd on the range, the Cartwrights would be the first to yell, burn him out.
That ain't so.
Yes, it is.
Cartwright should have killed off his whole herd without us having to meet and talk about doing it for him.
You can't expect him to kill off healthy beef.
Who's to say what's healthy and what's not? Now, the Ponderosa's rich. It's got timber and enough money to restock its range. Most of us live on the beef we raise each year. Now, if we lose our herds, where's the money coming from to pay off the bank loans, to feed our families, to even get started again?
You really aim to ride against the Ponderosa?
If I didn't fight for my land and what's on it, I wouldn't hold myself much of a man. Anyone else feels the same way is welcome to ride with me.
We're with him, ain't we, men?
Not me.
All right. We'll meet at the north end of town, just after sunup. Every man bring a rifle, and be ready to use it.
That's it, then. Come on.
Todd, what are they going to do?
Well, the Cartwright cattle are diseased. They're a danger to the whole range. So we're heading out to the Ponderosa in the morning to settle it one way or another.
You mean to fight the Cartwrights?
It looks that way.
Do you know how this plague got started?
It doesn't matter how it gets started. We just can't risk a plague spreading throughout the whole territory.
Todd, I think my father brought that plague to the Cartwright herd deliberately.
Did he tell you that?
Adam thinks so, too, only he can't prove it.
I already told you it doesn't matter who started the plague.
Todd, it does matter. The Cartwrights aren't at fault. They've been your friends for years, and what they need now is help, not threats.
Virginia, we have to look after our own interests.
That's what my father tells me. For years, that's what he told me every time he was doing something he was ashamed of. You're beginning to sound just like him.
I know what I have to do.
Yes, you do. But don't pretend it's to help those poor ranchers. It's just a fast way to make Todd McCarran a big man.
Virginia, I don't like what you're saying.
Then stop this before it goes any further.
It's too late now.
Boz, is dipping doing any good?
It's funny, I was just thinking about that. I certainly hope so. You know what our cash situation is? If we were to lose any of our herds right now, it would pretty near wipe us out. Ride on out and see how the boys are doing with that herd in the North Quarter. I'll give Hoss and Little Joe a hand with the other herd.
We got more trouble than plague, Pa. But now? Todd McCarran and Len Keith have got everybody around here stirred up. There's a bunch of them riding this way, and they're all armed.
Don't they realize we're doing everything we can?
Pa, it's a mob. They're not going to stop and think. They claim they're going to kill every head of cattle on our range.
Well, then we'd better make them stop and think. Right over to the house and get our rifles.
Who is it?
Virginia.
Oh, come in, Virginia. Well, what are you doing away out here, lass?
Mr. McCarran, you've got to do something. Todd...
What's he up to? He didn't come home last night.
They're riding on the Ponderosa, Mr. McCarran. Todd is leading them. You've got to stop him.
Stop him? How can I? He's a grown man. He's got to make his own decisions.
Mr. McCarran, I have no place else to turn. I love Todd. I thought you loved him, too. Unless you do something, we're both going to lose him.
An old man like me. How can I help him now?
Now is the time that counts, Mr. McCarran. Now is when he needs your help more than any other time in his life.
Good. Keep moving. Motorman, get your gun.
Remember, boys, no shooting unless I say so.
How do we know they want to talk?
We want to talk. Morning, Todd. You suddenly become a rancher, Mr. Keith?
I don't owe you any explanations, Cartwright.
You're the one to do the explaining, Ben. You brought the Texas cattle in.
There are no ticks on the ones we dipped. You want to ride in peaceful and see, you're welcome.
Seeing a lot of wet cows don't mean they won't all fall over tomorrow.
No, it doesn't. But if any of them come down with the fever, I'll kill every head that gets it.
That may be too late, even if you do what you say.
You doubting my Paul's word, mister?
Easy, Hoss. You men try to take over my herd, you know there's going to be fighting. Men on both sides. Men we've known a long time. Could get hurt. Maybe even get killed.
That'll be on your head, Cartwright. Now get out of the way.
Todd? You know better than try to bluff me down.
This is no bluff.
Don't anybody else move.
Shoot him down, Todd. We'll back you up. Todd, stop it. You stay out of this, McCarran.
Keep away, Pa. This is between Adam and me.
If you're going to make a killer of yourself, you better start with me.
Your son picked his side, McCarran. Now, you've got no right to be here.
Pa, don't you know everything we've got is at stake?
I know that better than any other man here. Jameson, I passed by your spread coming here. Your stock's down with fever. Some of the others are also. Son, you better go home and take care of our herd. They're coming down with it fast.
I told you what would happen. And you can blame the Cartwrights for it.
Let's finish what we come here for.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You can kill off every head on the Ponderosa, but what good will that do you? I tell you that sulfur dip's working. It's saving our beef. It can do the same for yours. It's the only chance any of you have. You better take it.
You still handing out orders, Cartwright?
Don't back down from them.
Make up your mind, Todd. Whose side are you on, ours or the Cartwrights?
You don't have a side, Dad, except your own. He doesn't care about your cattle. He's only trying to destroy you so he can take your land.
We're not talking about land. We're talking about plague.
So am I, Todd. My father started it.
Virginia, you don't know what you're talking about.
She knows what she's talking about, all right. Her father killed Jim Tucker just to keep him quiet.
Adam!
Virginia,
Dad?
That offer still goes. Bring your healthy cattle over here and we'll run them through that sulfur dip.
Does that go for the McCarran family too, Ben?
Of course it does. If it's all right with you, Todd.
Yeah, get that one turned around.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's the last of the McCarran steers, Todd.
Well, I'd kind of like to stay and help with the rest.
Hey, what do you say we take a break for some coffee?
Good idea.
Hey, Hoss, come on, coffee.
Well, you two are going to make mighty fine neighbors.
Thanks, Ben.